the middle of little did we know. I'm serious about mine. I'm so sincere.
Now at last I have seen a judgment of Solomon. And this is Thought Crimes.
Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. How about that question?
Pimp, pimp. Hooray!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment. I only have one question.
Who the fuck you think you fucking with? I run shit here. You just live here.
I want to sing y'all a brand new song I just wrote called Don't Trust Them New Niggas Over There.
Now don't be a Negro, be my nigga. All right, help me out.
Hold on. I ain't nobody's nigga.
Well, I mean, you somebody's nigga wearing this nigga top.
Bitch ain't no legend. I'm the legend in this motherfucker. You can't be no legend and you 5 fucking years old. This motherfucker just call somebody a legend. Oh my.
We'll do it live. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
What business are you in?
I make my bread and butter. I'm pushing.
What business are you in?
I make my bread and butter. I'm pushing.
That's right, folks. Get ready.
Pushing.
That's right. Get ready.
What business are you in?
All right.
I make my bread and butter.
Welcome to Thought Crimes, baby.
Welcome to Thought Crimes, everybody.
Welcome.
Welcome.
This is your girl Sincere.
Yes, this is your man, Solomon Savage. Prince Solomon, we in the building here today. Sin, give us some music, please. Because, I mean, this ain't time for no spoken word shit. Let's roast these people. Right now, as everybody may know, that Chris Rock is getting all the smoke on Twitter because he sat down with 3 males. It was 3 males, right? 3 males.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3.
Louis C.K.
A rapey male.
Known to the victims as Freckle Dick.
Freckle Dick, that's right. Clown Dick.
Also, we got Ricky Gervais, who got tight about the gay jokes, but then felt he could let his nuts on the table talking about the niggas. And of course, we have Jerry the Jew Seinfeld to the rescue.
Yeah, Jerry Curls.
Jerry Curls. There we go. We're going to get into all of this. By the way, shout out to everybody in the chat room. Welcome to TCZ Network. We have a lot of the people who have come from over our other channel on Thought Crimes. That's right, you hear us live on this one. Shouts out to Jay Little. Shouts out to Ragin. Shouts out to Darbeen and Open Mind. Shouts out to David. Shouts out to Mikey. Of course, so many people. Man, we're going to get off into this thing. But see, we got a lot of things we're going to be talking about, right?
Yeah, we're bringing this back up since everybody...
I guess we can bring the music down a little bit. Let's bring that music down. There we go. It's smelling like crawfish in here. Yeah, right, there you go.
Since everybody want to bring up things to get rid of Kevin Hart, get rid of that person, we got to be equal opportunists here. I know Louis C.K. already shot himself in the foot when he pulled his dick out, but we can still get on people.
Well, before we get to Freckle Dick, I want to say this before we continue to get rid of, because we understand white liberal America, you can only ride so far until you're offended, all right? But I see that many of you all are trying to get rid of Kevin Hart. That's neither hearsay for me personally.
Don't care either way.
Don't really care. He's giving the pound cake speech, and I know my motto. Once a Negro gives us a pound cake speech, I'm done with him.
And we're not getting rid of Chris Rock. It's more of a correcting the lens here too.
But I will say this. Fuck all of the liberal white outlets, because I see you're trying to get on board and you are cock-stroking Black Twitter. Black Twitter is handling black business. They are correcting one of their own. But white liberals, I see some of your editorial pieces, your op-ed pieces, and you're speaking like you've been hurt. Sit the fuck down.
My name is Mary, and just real quick, I just want to say that I was so offended when I heard my idols, except for Louis C.K., because he's a rapist, and this is the Me Too movement. But when it came to Ricky, I am just so saddened by this, and I'm going to tell all my black friends that I'm so sad.
Shut up, white bitch. How about that? That's right.
I got a video to play for them, too.
Yeah, that means
you wanna, before we get ready, you want to play the monologue?
Let's play that, because I was reading an article by a white feminist bitch. So what the fuck are you talking about? This is black business. Let the niggas handle their own, and they will.
And we're gonna explain everything. We're gonna get into our thoughts and shit in a second.
All right.
But let's just play the video.
Get into it.
Let's get into it.
Since everybody going back in time like Marty McFly.
We don't.
Well, you just did.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Why don't they kill us? Now, right out there on that porch, 3 times a week for 50 years, old Ben here would shave my daddy with a straight razor. Now, if I was old Ben, I would have cut my daddy's goddamn throat, and it wouldn't have taken me no 50 years to do it neither. But he never did. Why not? See, the science of phrenology is crucial to understanding the separation of our 2 species. In the skull of the African here, the area associated with submissiveness is larger than any human or any other subhuman species on planet Earth. If you examine this piece of skull here,
Get him.
notice 3 distinct dimples. Here, here, and here. Now, if I was holding the skull of an Isaac Newton or Galileo, these 3 dimples would be found in the area of the skull most associated with creativity. But this is the skull of old Ben. And in the skull of old Ben, unburdened by genius, these 3 dimples exist in the area of the skull most associated with civility. Now, Bright Boy, I will admit you are pretty clever. But if I took this hammer here and I bashed in your skull with it, you would have the same 3 dimples in the same place as old Ben.
He's the blackest white guy I fucking know. And in all the negative things we think about black people, this fucker.
You're saying I'm a nigger.
Yes, you are.
Pause it real quick.
Niggerous.
Pause it real quick. This is I wanted to let's pause it real quick.
Stopping the baby's monologue.
Let's stop it. No. This is breakdown time, baby. Now, because if I was at the controls, I would pause it right because I want to make this point here. Notice that Chris Rock has been fully gentrified. Did you see his reaction when Louis C.K. looked at him and let his freckle nuts hang on his black forehead and said, "You're saying I'm a nigger"? Did you see Chris Rock's natural reaction when he pulled his collar like, ugh?
And you notice, I know people don't want to hit Seinfeld, but he never said the word nigger allegedly, even though Kramer has the character from Seinfeld. But he did say, I've never seen them qualities from Louis C.K., which means that Seinfeld was saying, I never seen any nigger, characteristics from Louis C.K. So I guess maybe, I don't know, Chris Rock saw him fondling women and thought that was a nigger trait.
Well, also, we got to keep it real, though. Seinfeld is big money in the room. All of them kind of bitched up when he spoke. Gervais kind of curved around him. He started attacking Louis C.K. Chris Rock, of course, is riding the money nuts. But also at the same time, he flinched when Louis C.K. said the word nigger. I said, what happened to the bigger, blacker Chris Rock? What happened to, I feel like joining the Ku Klux Klan? You ain't going that hard on the males, are you? But we can continue. Go ahead and play.
Amazing.
I don't think he could do that.
Oh. What?
I don't think he has those
There's
qualities.
only 2.
You don't even understand. Really? You don't really know him like I've worked with him.
No, like your bit about.
I wouldn't use it anywhere.
No, exactly. These two.
We
use
say
that
nigger on stage.
On stage.
You guys don't. That's
that's
an
the
interesting
difference.
2 teams
That's
here.
the difference between
That's right. That's right. We say
can pair
nigger on
up in
stage. You
different
guys
ways,
don't.
but that's definitely a pairing. Who
We
says
say-
nigger on stage? We don't.
Well, you just did.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
You and me say
No,
nigger in
no,
private.
No.
These 2 guys. These 2 guys don't. I don't believe he says it in private
I'm
much.
giving it up just because it's played.
I don't believe it's. I don't think you've ever said it probably in your life.
No,
I don't
never.
think. No. Yeah, that's it. That's a huge difference between you and me, I think.
Well,
Is what I've said
you
it.
found the humor of it.
Yeah.
I haven't found it.
Right.
Nor do I seek it.
I mean,
So-
so I'm going to find a way.
Saves 9 inches.
Our next pair of judges couldn't be with us in the studio tonight. They're celebrating the new year from a secret location. Here they are, Hollywood's oddest couple, Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg, via satellite transmission.
Well, how are you doing there, Missy Robin Quiver? You know, Robin, Whoopi is a whole lot prettier after you drunk a couple of bottles of this here malt liquor.
Drink on, honey.
With every sip, you get better and better, baby. Your snatch smell like a kingfish. Oh.
I didn't write that.
Ted, I must say that I can't believe you're still in blackface after the Friars Roast controversy.
Oh, hush up. I hate blackface. I just can't get this shit off. Besides, Whoopi done wrote everything I'm gonna say here tonight, so it's all right. Ain't that right, you smelly nigga?
I didn't write that.
Well, you is a smelly nigga. I got some more jokes for your New Year's Eve party there.
You're not tired of this.
And don't be racially offended, because Whoopi done wrote them for me, okay? Here we go.
Go ahead.
Black hole.
Black hole.
You're gonna love this. Hey, look there. What do I loves most about the Whoopi? Yeah.
Ted sure has great timing.
Hey, Robin, what does you call a black rocket scientist?
I don't know,
A
Ted.
nigger. Whoopi wrote it, Whoopi wrote it. Hey, did you happen to notice this?
No, what
this
is that?
This here's my mother, Mama Danson. Why, she done work in blackface, too.
She must be very proud.
Yeah.
Now I know you really love me, Ted. You the man.
I tell you, you the man. What done happened to Sherman's career? It's really over the end. I want you to give us a kiss, you smelly coghead coon. I love you.
May I say something here?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can say whatever you want, you smelly nigga. Whoopi wrote that.
That's it, Ted. You didn't know I was going to say that. Whoopi had no chance to write it. I don't accept that kind of language. You can call her whatever you want, but you don't talk to me that way or I'll leave.
Well, don't let the door hit you on your big black ass, mama, on the way out of here. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Now, Whoopi, you is a filthy nigger.
I didn't write that.
Well, you is a smelly nigger, so what's the difference?
Look, you two, don't you think you're going to ruin your career this way?
No, no, no. What's wrong with you? This here routine is showing people that we is not afraid to confront our racial stereotypes. Looky here. We is a nation of racists, and we must break through that barrier that we done constructed for ourselves. Can't you see that? Can't you see that, you little rib breath mama? What is it, baby?
Oh, Ted, this whole thing is backfired.
Oh, it's Robin's fault.
I'm afraid the whole world is going to turn against us.
Oh, baby, this here thing got you all upset because Missy Robin just hounding ya. And you know I love you, and I love all people except the chinks.
Oh, God.
Now, you come over here. We're going to have a good New Year's. I'm going to take my fingers and stick them in that barbed wire you call pubic hair.
Oh, stop.
I love you.
I love you too, you bald, thick-skulled cracker honky.
And I love you, you fat-lipped little baboon.
And I love you, you blue-eyed Frankenstein.
Honey, let me see your pussy. It ain't scary.
Oh,
Come
dear.
on, spread your legs. I'm gonna pull down my pants. Come on, spread them wider. Spread them wider, baby. Yeah, baby, your pussy ain't scary. I'll tell you that, boy.
My guest tonight is a young man who I think that he's sharp. Of course, everybody don't agree with me. White people say he's gross. Black people say he's intelligent. I don't know.
How come I don't get no big chair?
I'm talking to Howard. What's your name?
Stern, Nipsey.
So now, you know,
I like when you rhyme. I like when you rhyme, Nipsey. Do that for me.
You look like Nipsey. Nipsey Russell.
Hey.
But hold it now. You know, ain't no cracker gonna take over now. You know, you got now hold. The one thing about it already. See, you got a nigga working for you. You got a nigga working for you, but you don't run this nigga here. So cracker, you shut up.
The question: is you black or is you white? And now the man with less than prominent African features, Howard Washington Stein.
I dig that music that we have at the top of the show, Robin. You know, hello, everybody. Look, my hat on straight? Yes, it is. You know what this here X is for?
No, what is that for?
That stands for extra crispy.
Oh.
See, man, when we think of a black man or woman, you think of like Florida, or maybe you think of Mammy. But many of us do not wear our race on our sleeve. You see, man, I am a black man, and I am born to 2 black parents, yet I can pass for a white man.
Are you upset that you can pass for white?
Excuse me, Robert?
Are you upset that you can pass for white?
Oh, of course I'm upset, woman. I am not accepted by blacks because I'm too light-skinned.
Uh-huh.
And whites think that I'm too black, see?
So where do you fit in?
Well, it's hard to say. You know, why do I sound like Soupy Sales?
I don't know what you're doing.
See, there are lots of people who have the same problem as me. For example, Vanessa Williams. She looks white, but she is black, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Mayor Dinkin.
Uh-huh. He's got the same problem.
He got the same problem. He looked white, but he is black.
Uh-huh.
You can take Kim Basinger.
Now, I didn't know she was black.
Well, she looks white, but she is black, although the lips are a giveaway. Now, George Takei, Sulu of the Star Trek.
Yeah?
Sulu looks white, but he is black.
No way.
And now for the real shock. I am going to reveal something right now. Well, Robin, you should reveal this. Tell the shock.
Well, for the real shock, Howard, let me tell everyone that you and I are brother and sisters. I'm your biological sister.
That's right, Robin. You see, we have the same parents, but oddly enough, you have full African features, as well as a full set of chocolate markers.
Oh, jeez. That's right, Howard.
That's right. Now, let me just say, the guest tonight is a woman who is no stranger to this problem. She is black, but she looks white. Please welcome Sabrina LeBar. Now, Sabrina, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Well, it's nice to meet you, too.
Sabrina, you look white, but you are, in fact, black. Is that true?
I don't think so.
Well,
you don't think you're black?
I think I'm black, but I don't think I look white.
You've never been mistaken.
No, never. Now, have you ever tried to make yourself look more black like myself?
No, I haven't.
Because you even sound white.
Really?
Yeah, you really do. Do you ever try to put on a southern accent?
No, I don't.
Robin, do you think Sabrina looks black or white?
Well, she's, very light, but I think she looks black.
You think she looks black?
Yeah.
I think she looks white. Now, I'd like to ask you about your work on the Cosby Show.
Right.
You work with, you want to borrow my hat to look more black?
No, that's okay.
Would you like to wear my
So that people don't get confused.
How come you don't wear an X hat?
Do you remember where the top of your head is?
You are really fine. My hair,
You
but...
were asking me about the Cosby Show?
Now, the Cosby Show, you work with Bill Cosby.
Yes.
And you work with Felicia Rashad.
Right.
And
That's Felicia.
Felicia Rashad. Felicia Rashad.
No, it's Felicia.
No, that is pronounced F-Y-L-L-I-C-I-A, Felicia. You work with Bill Cosby, Felicia Rashad, and all the Cosby kids, and they are so black. The Malcolm and John Warner is so black. The boy on the Cosby Show is so black.
Malcolm Jamal?
All of the children on the Cosby Show could pass for Nigerian exchange students.
No.
And yet you could be an Ivory girl. You know what I'm saying? Did they ever explain that on the show?
No, because black people come in a whole range of colors.
But how is it that Bill Cosby's so chocolatey brown and Felicia Rashad is so brown and you are the only light-skinned child on the Cosby Show?
No, that's not. How about Lisa Bonet?
Lisa Bonet is looking black, though. You look white. See, to me, she look white. Let me ask you this. Do you date white men or black men?
Uh-oh.
I mean, you're so white, you're Johnny Winter's sister.
Oh, jeez.
No, really, do you date the black man or the white man?
When I used to date, I dated all of them.
All colors of the Rainbow Coalition?
Yes.
But she said used to date. Are you married?
Yes, I'm married.
You're married to a white man?
Yes, I am.
See, that's what I thought. Now, as a child, did you sandpaper yourself or anything? Now, that's what, a lot of brothers and sisters do. You see what I'm saying?
I never heard of that.
I was born this way.
You born that color?
Yeah, this color.
Let me ask this, Robin, and maybe if I'm out of line, you tell me.
All right.
Do black men ever call you honky? Have anyone ever said, hey, honky?
No, they've never made that mistake.
See, Robin, that's
what happened to you.
People call you names?
Yeah, because my sister here, she has no problem. We have the same parents, and she is so chocolatey black, and of course with chocolatey,
enough
look at
already.
these.
So when you're with her, you pass.
I gotta admit, I'm turned on by my own sister. They're wild. Robin, I'll tell you something, this is great. You know, it's funny, some people call me white, some people call me black, some people call me stupid. You understand that?
I think most people.
But you got a white husband.
Right.
And and you have brothers and sisters?
Yes.
And they're as light-skinned as you?
Yes.
But you had a black father and a black mother?
Yes.
Wow, that is amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, well, I want to learn more. Over to you, Robin.
Yes? Well, we'll come back with more on this topic.
Yes. And we will meet the strong black woman who birthed me for the first time, and Sabrina will meet her as well.
Yes, coming up, our mother and father.
We'll be right back.
We're back with the show that axes the question, are you black or are you white? And here's your host, Howard Washington Stein.
Question this evening is, are you black or are you white? I am black, but I look white. My guest, Sabrina LaBeef, is black.
LaBeef.
LaBeef or LaBeef?
She's correct.
LaBeef. Well, I would like to LaBeef you, I'll tell you that, honey. Both Sabrina and myself look white, Robin, and yet you, my biological sister, look black.
Yes. Howard, share with the audience how you proved that you were black.
Well, first of all, I don't need to really prove it to anybody if I am black or white. What about you, Sabrina? Do you always ask, people asking you to prove that you was black or white? Do you have to prove to people you're black?
No, that's never happened to me. I can't say my experience.
See, look at even on the show. Look at the show, Robin. You see, this is the Cosby show.
The whole family.
They are the blackest parents, and yet Sabrina is white.
Well, she looks darker in this picture.
Let me see.
No, you look...
If you were offended by the recent appalling issue of Vanity Fair with that stupid Demi Moore, you'd better turn off your TV now, for we're about to show you something so shocking and so uncomfortable that you might vomit on your cable guide. And now, an advanced look at this magazine's startling cover.
That's the last time I get drunk with Bruce Willis.
And now an interview with Supreme Court nominee Judge Clarence Thomas. Here's Robin Quivers.
Good evening. Without further ado, I'd like to present the latest nominee to the United States Supreme Court, the Honorable Clarence Thomas.
Oonga boonga. Now, I'm just trying to improve my image. The black people are against me because they say that I'm not a real black man. I want to say to them and to all you that I am proud to be here.
I see some of you saying you feel uncomfortable and you don't have to watch this yet. You see people online all the time claiming to be black, both male and female, co-signing white bullshit, co-signing some of Joe Rogan's guests, co-signing Chinese and people saying chigga, nigga, and all this other stuff. So sit your asses down and look at the truth.
Whoa, hold on now.
You want to look at what?
Wait a minute, wait, hold on.
You know why y'all act the way y'all act?
Is it coming from? Is it because it's in Jew-face and blackface? Is that why? How many of y'all tried to explain niggas bashing black women, bashing black children, or that little black boy should have got shot because coming from black lips? When it's coming from black lips, we don't think nothing about it. But see, them black lips be co-signing the white lips and the Jew lips and everything else. The cave lip,
Cracker
the Kaz lips, the Kazakhstan lips,
Caucasoid.
all of that lips. So continue, and then you guys will hear from us afterwards.
Yeah, you'll hear from us afterwards.
Play
Our
that
thoughts
beautiful
on this,
tape.
on this bullshit.
I'd like to say that I am cognizant of black people, and I would like to be the head muckety muck of the Supreme Judiciary Continuum. That's right.
I understood you to be a very conservative and well-educated...
Hey, what am this? The Montel Williams Show? This bit was not my idea.
Just whose idea was it?
Hey, Robin, you see, it was your idea. I'm the one going to get lynched. and your idea to dress me up like a Supreme Muckety Muck.
No, wait a minute.
Now, let me tell you something.
Should I refer to you as Your Honor?
Excuse me, if anybody mad at this sketch, I want you to contact Ralph the makeup man who gave me these oversized lips. Now, what is this?
Well, what would you like to say to black people?
Never mind the black people. To all you people out there, you see this positive article we got from the New York Post? Well, you can be sure next week's article will not be this positive.
Excuse me, but that is not you in that photograph.
Let me tell you something. We're going to be in trouble with the NAANP, the ECOC, and the EIEIOs. That's right now. Look here.
You're changing your image. You want to relate to blacks.
I want to relate to the black people. Tell them not to...
Nobody has made jokes about that pertaining to the ADL.
Fear me on the Supreme Court justice. Now, look here, Sunshine.
I can't even understand what you're saying.
I say, look here, Sunshine. A lot of people worry...
My name is Robin.
Well, yes, I know that. Now, you talk about this here abortion nonsense. I don't want to talk about that issue.
You don't want to tell us your stand on
No,
abortion?
I will not. I'm going to remain silent on that now, but I will talk to you about the cannabis.
The cannabis?
Yeah, that's right.
You did smoke marijuana.
Cannabis helped my self-confidence.
What do you mean?
Well, I just love to smoke reefer.
What? Now,
and this is why I was pointing out when I said, if you look at Chris Rock, he was mad uncomfortable when Louis C.K. said nigger. When everybody has played with black people's image, their personal lives, and everything they take sacred, right down to their religion.
I mean, Chris Rock has been on the Howard Stern show, too. You know?
But I'm just saying, though, my whole point is this, yo, what's with y'all black comedians? Why y'all so hesitant to pull the trigger? Why y'all always gotta nigga-splain shit? Well, you don't understand. He's the blackest white guy I know, and I mean that in every negative sense of the word. What's with all the skittish energy? Where's all this hardcore energy like they do on the other side? That's all I'm saying. Look at this, Howard Stern.
you're not going to like that on these airwaves.
Hey, I admit to it. I smoke a joint now and then.
You don't think this is going to hurt your chances with the nominating committee?
I know I'm getting high.
Someone said, I doubt the Rock knew these skits existed. No, most comedians know they existed.
Movie dude, please stop being a complex baby. I doubt you understood Chris Rock's legacy and history in the comedy game. He's aware about everything.
Yes.
If Chris Rock was aware of the Rudy Ray Moore and also Howard Stern calls himself pulling from that era as well, he knew about these also. And you got to keep in mind.
Petey Green, Richard Pryor, everybody know about this.
Come on. Howard Stern is to Petey Green what Michael Bolton was to Grover Washington.
Starting to look like a real TV studio.
And also, he pulled a lot of his acts from Petey Green. Not the whole blackface shit, but the fact that Petey Green was on the air, talking shit about crackers.
Yeah, so. Hey, baby, we need some music. I tell you that.
Oh, dear. Do you really think you have to go this far?
You live for a second. Now, I must tell you that I have a white wife. I must be very honest.
Your wife is white?
I'd like you to meet my wife right now. She's so beautiful. This is my wife, Fresca.
Fresca?
That's right. How you doing there, darling?
Hey, all right.
It's so good to see you, sweetness.
Good to see you. Oh, those lips.
My wife's name is...
Well, hello, Mrs. Thomas, Miss Fresca.
Mrs. Thomas, my second wife, Fresca, because every time we go to the airport together, they Fresca. Hello, my little snooper-doop. You want to climb under this here robe and kiss your husband?
Oh, dear. Sounds a lot like Howard Stern, you know?
I want you to smoke this till you're paralyzed. Hey, where your sister Judy?
I left her home.
Let me just stare at the collection of sweat between your cleavage.
Oh, dear. You know, how can you possibly see any cleavage, Robin?
I'll be honest with you.
He's smoking a lot of pot.
Let me tell you something. You smell real nice, and I'm going to be honest with you. This really ain't my wife. This here is Audrey Lander. Now...
Where is your wife?
My wife is out the door. She didn't want to be part of this show. Now, let me ask you a question, Audrey.
Yes.
You used to be on that late nighttime soup opera, Houston. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's kind of close.
Dallas, that's... Boy, this here joint is annoying, ain't it?
All right, we can wrap it.
Oh, man.
There you go. Get the Jew face and blackface up out of here. Look, y'all.
Yeah, y'all didn't know this shit existed. That's why That's what I'm saying.
That's why we thought
all your
crimes,
little
baby.
black kids and adults, young adults,
man.
millennial, Gen Zers, y'all be talking shit to us when we be like, stop letting other people say nigga and stuff. Now you see why.
Hey, y'all see why I roasted the shit out of Tekashi when he touched down in America as a Mexican immigrant. You know, I said, God damn it, where's ICE? And some of y'all was like, yo, Pete, Prince, yeah, but what's with all of these negative ass jokes? Motherfucker, I know the history of comedy. I'm well versed in it. So that's why we talk the way we talk. Everybody else did. And you got to understand this. People were stretching black folks' image out while they were in chattel slavery. Remember, all of this shit harkens back from slavery. It don't harken back to the shit like African Americans do with African American comedy. This shit comes from nefarious beginnings. So that's why. And Robin has been rolling with him as his house nigga and maid for over 30 years. And yes, she has issues. A lot of people try to, absolutely. Yeah, because a lot of people's trying to be soft on it. Like when she got into, that's why I was so disappointed in cross-dressing Jamie Foxx. Motherfucker, what are you doing? You look like my little brother. I was so disappointed when he bitched up. But I guess Jamie Foxx didn't want to talk about the asshole being spread, whatever the fuck it was.
Jamie Foxx was on Howard Stern knowing this background too, so he ain't know, you know.
But when Jamie Foxx and Howard Stern got into it, I mean, I don't give a fuck if I was on your show or not, bitch. We roasting each other. I thought Jamie Foxx was going to bring it, because I've seen that nigga roast in black space and he's pretty fucking good. So I'm thinking, I said, oh man, go ahead and cook this salmonella cracker, right? And then I'm sorry. After he looked like he wanted it. And then Howard Stern was like, well, you know, I'm basically going to expose how you getting fucked in the industry. I said, what? Jamie Foxx, get his ass. And then he froze. And what I'm saying is that these comedians, the ones that call themselves edgy black comedians, let's face it, Chris Rock's whole energy of being edgy, he was only comfortable with antagonizing black folks. He had his cracker moments there and there, but that was his moment in that room to roast everybody. And he bitch up. They couldn't have pulled that shit with Paul Mooney. Now let's take Chris Rock out of that setting and then have Louis C.K. say nigger in front of Paul Mooney. Oh, that would have been classic. So, you know, when y'all come to Thought Crimes and y'all asking for an apology from us, absolutely not.
No apologies.
No apologies.
No backing down.
Yeah.
And we're going to tell you just real quick, the people that we're not going to be backing down to by false peer pressure. The little dudes who be trying to say, stop talking shit about Tekashi and those people and Chigga and stuff saying, nigga, y'all hating. Shut the fuck up. Middle finger right here. Those who say black people are protective class, middle finger right here. The NAACP obviously is not strong enough to get all those things taken down like the ADL does when it comes to Jewish people. Like when Macklemore had that big broom nose, and he said he wasn't even talking about Jews. He just put on a costume. And what's the joke?
I think he was trying to be funny, but you know they got on his ass.
What's the weed smoker Joe something that do movies with hang out with Snoop Dogg and shit? You know he what's the white boy that he hangs out with a lot? He's an actor. They made what's that? Pumpkin Express, Pineapple Express.
Oh, you talking about Seth Rogen?
Yeah, Seth Rogen got
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, he got in and went in on Macklemore saying all this stuff and the ADL going after Jay-Z for his the 444 album, in particular the video that said the story of OJ. The ADL went after Jay-Z for something as minor as that. We also
talked about Jews in credit, and they was up his ass.
We also had the guy who played Commissioner Gordon. What's the actor's name?
Yeah, you know the actor. Y'all know who went on his anti-Jew black rage.
Yeah,
rant.
He said a lot of anti-black shit, but he apologized to Jewish people because of that. And then we also seen white rage when Jamie Foxx said he was in a movie where he was able to kill crackers. And you saw white people claiming that they want to boycott and blah, 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 blah. So I'm just being honest with you. When I see how some of y'all behave online, especially when you know that data is being collected and harvested by Google and all these tech companies, they're harvesting behavior patterns. And I'm just being honest with you. If I was seeing the data and I had to analyze how black people behave on YouTube. Not Twitter, not as bad, because I think actually on Twitter, black people stick together a little bit more, even sometimes when they decide to do goofy stuff. But if I had to choose on Facebook and YouTube, I would say that it would seem as if black people hate each other when you have certain YouTubers just bashing on black women 24/7, bashing on black men who's been molested and stuff like that, bashing on. It's just some weird shit.
You know, but they already doing that. That's how they got Tekashi. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. You gotta understand Tekashi's origin. I keep bringing that little boy up for a reason, because that was the most bizarre shit I've ever seen growing up in all of my studies of understanding rap and hip hop. You gotta understand, Tekashi originally was a rock and roll head, heavy metal motherfucker that was gaining traction overseas. He was performing at clubs like in Russia and shit like that. And what they do, the record labels, they understand the algorithm. You guys don't think they see all these little complex babies running around here talking about my white friend can say nigger, you know, my white girlfriend can say nigger. I love it when my white girlfriend, like Donald Glover said on stage, you know, when my Armenian white bitch called me white slave, I've never nutted so hard in my life. They collect all of that shit. And also, you know what I'm saying? That's how all that shit can fester. Maybe that's what it is.
And another problem is the dark-skinned Drake, the focusing on homo shit. We look at our analytics, right? So when we talk about somebody coming out or allegedly somebody's gay or they're with a transsexual, you know that 90% of our viewers are actually male, not even female.
Say that again, Sin.
90% of the people who make them videos, 200,000, 50,000 views, are mostly male.
When we talk about transsexuals being associated with rappers.
And it's a weird dynamic here because y'all don't go in anti on people talking shit about black women, people talking shit about black men. Y'all join in on that. That shit gets some of y'all hard, right?
I've never nutted so hard in my life, Levitra.
But you're too obsessed with people being gay. You're too obsessed with people being gay. Why do we have a majority of dudes looking at videos about another dude coming out?
Sin.
And it's not women. Like, come on.
You trying to promote an agenda?
I'm just saying.
This is an agenda being promoted.
Care more about whether people are gay or not than people disrespecting you as being black.
I'm gonna tell y'all what happened, right? On the old throwback channel I had, Sin knows because she was watching at the time. I did some videos, and you know they all right. They tracked well. I did a video. I was just trolling, and I was calling 50 Cent gay, a big old steroid gay male stripper. That's what I said. He looked like a big old gay stripper to me, right? That fucking video got 500,000 views. All right, and I looked at the analytics. It was all mostly niggas. Same niggas talking about, I don't like that gay shit. I don't even eat no hot dog in public. But you look at them videos about who getting poked in the butt.
Yeah, and another thing, because there's a lot of points we have addressed. So this video is going to be a while. There's a lot, like, you know, Kick said, I love when comedians offend. Now, if this was a gloves off, people say whatever they want pertaining to comedy, all right then. That would be a different story, but it's not. It's cool to say things about black people. It's cool to shush black people, and also end people's career. But Silverman, for example, could be in blackface. But she's Jewish, so that's okay. But if she sees somebody say a Jewish joke, then ADL and her will get on that booty. You know, so it's like, no, I don't want to hear anybody talking about comedy because we mess with the Petey Green, the Paul Mooney, and all that stuff. But we're not going to use our comedy to be out here tiptoeing around other groups of people. People get mad when we call burrito Mexicans. People get mad when we talk about white people, Jewish people, whatever. We're not going to tiptoe when everybody thinks it's okay with Tekashi to run around saying the word nigga, where people having comedy and jokes saying nigga. Get out of here.
Look at this. We got, I want to address someone in the chat room, and I love it because we're going to have the phones open. One thing I love about you niggas, a lot of that typing, y'all rarely call in to do any talking directly to me. He said Solomon is kind of a bozo. This is coming from a nigga that has a 718 area code associated with his name. You sound like one of them New York God body niggas. That's 718. That's a New York area code, right? A lot of you God body niggas out there are suspect. So you offended niggas, stay offended. I stand on my square. You talk about all this gay agenda with your motherfucking Morris Fez hats, selling them dusty ass copies of Malcolm X books in the street with the faded Goodwill copy covers.
Oh, and also let them be known that Howard Stern was in your neck of the woods.
He was in your neck of the woods, nigga. So 718, did you call Howard Stern a bozo? Probably not. See, that's the issue with you god body niggas with your Moorish feds hats. Some of y'all are the biggest hypocrites and the purveyors. Y'all will get right on the air and talk about gay agenda, and then y'all will excuse all the other shit. Well, y'all understand some of these black bitches got to get under control. I be so sick of y'all god body 7% of niggas. That's why I roast the shit out of y'all. Yes, I am from the South, nigga. I stand on my square with that, nigga. You already know what time it is. So that being said, again, that's why I say it's a bunch of soft comedians in the space that don't give us your pound cake speech. Don't be like Kevin Hart going in on blacks, but you soft shoeing it with white folks on Ellen who can't dance. Ellen can't fucking dance, and you didn't kiss her clit ass all the way across the street and back. You see what I'm saying? So again, it's a bunch of
Ellen look like a fucking retarded ass bitch.
Shit, okay.
She be dancing like Charlemagne.
For real, I mean, come on.
That's where Charlemagne get his moves from.
Ellen look like Benjamin Button, Justin Bieber. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to stand on my square with this shit. I be sick of you 718 niggas be getting tight because I said what I said. Y'all niggas call niggas in the West gay all day. Y'all niggas call niggas in the South gay all day. And then y'all got motherfucking predators in your neighborhood, but y'all too god body.
Also, Prince and I are a team. We're a team. We're one. So people talk, if you talk nice to me and talk mean to him, you still a bitch because we stand together. Just like if you say something nice to him but say something mean to me, it's not like it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh my God.
Well, we don't operate like you niggas.
You like me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so flattered. Even just you just call my man a bitch, but
it's easy to play niggas against niggas.
No, we don't. It don't work like that.
Bro,
for us.
I tell y'all, all you 718 niggas, any one of you New York niggas all day, I'll be in New York all day. White people gentrifying your shit left and right. So I can't be no focus, nigga. You see what I'm saying? Howard Stern was all through that bitch, calling niggas bozos, coons, talking black women, talking about they got Bill Pratt pussies and shit, and niggas want to act like they get tight with niggas. I tell people that all the time. Just like Chris Rock said up there. Now, nigga, you done had several specials, which I supported, because I liked Chris Rock growing up. He was one of the niggas to me. Absolutely. You know, I laugh when he said some shit, but Chris Rock comfortably got on stage in front of millions of people talking about, I want to pull a drive-by from Brooklyn to Compton. I want to join the Ku Klux Klan. Then when a freckled dick white bitch in the room say nigger right in his face, he bitches up. And then did you notice his energy shifted with big money Jew Jerry Seinfeld in the room said, well, I ain't like it. And Chris Rock was like, well, I don't say it no more. It was like, damn, Chris, you scared on both fronts, nigga. So that's what I'm saying. So don't be trying to act hard about it because you hear me saying my shit. You think it's going to be easy. I will open up them phone lines, and any one of you niggas that got a problem with it, because you're probably a coon. That's why you're acting like that. That Kundalini spirit in you, that Kundalini energy is reacting to the words I'm saying. So we'll open up the phone lines and let folks call in. But we got to make this clear. Chris Rock ain't the only one. You know, he ain't the only one. That's why a lot of that shit go down the way. That's why we got a bunch of complex babies right now.
Also, I also would say for Eric Brown, why do niggas talk trash to P and then big up Sim? Because niggas like to be Judas, some of them. Some of them love to be Judas. If there's a black man who's for them, who wants to build up a coalition with black men who have discipline and dignity, they talk shit about you. When you putting chapstick all on your face and up your nostrils and talk about bagging bitches and different things like that, they love you. They on your dick because A, you don't hold them accountable for anything. B, they don't have to have any discipline. And 3, they can join on the bandwagon of dissing and pissing on their own group. So that's why.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know. And like I said, Cass, I would love for you to call in, player. I want you to talk that shit to my ear. I would love for that. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Most of y'all niggas do not have a problem with me. You got a problem with yourself. I always say it like this, baby. If you're hating me, you're hating yourself.
Yeah, we did.
That's what the game is about.
We also did the practice video when we was talking shit about Trick Daddy and Kodak Black. Yeah. And we said all this shit about mayos and crackers. You had this Australian bitch who was a fucking honky who said, I'm subscribing to Thought Crimes because you said fine. Cracker.
That's cool.
Yeah, and you just ignored the whole slew of nigga and all that other stuff.
We said, if we say Africa bambooty niggas, if we would have said coon niggas, if we would have said she-boon, she-cucks,
everybody
darkies,
laugh. Everybody think it's cute. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's Christmas.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to just tell you like it is, players. Don't be coming for me sideways. I'm always about the confrontation, whether it's positive or negative. I tell folks all the time, you got white people doing this shit all day left and right, and I told you, in person, I've seen so many niggas duck around it.
Nas.
Don't say it.
Let's talk about Nas with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Let's talk about another god body nigga.
Wait, hold on. Let me see if I had that clip when he said any nigga that go after Gwyneth Paltrow.
Bring up that god body nigga.
He will slap them. Let me look for that.
Bring up that god body nigga. That 2% low fat milk nigga.
Yeah.
Bring him up. Almond milk. It's bullshit, y'all. The whole culture is full of shit.
Okay, here he is.
Y'all just saw Chris Rock squirm and scream.
Let me press pause. Let me get this shit on. Get this shit on here. Yeah. He's sticking up for his white Nubian queen. Remember when people thought that shit was funny?
He called Kim a queen as well.
White Nubian queen.
There you go.
People love that shit. They love shitting on each other. White Nubian queen. Get the fuck out of here. That bitch been passed around all through Hollywood.
Too much to one that ain't got no eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Me say nigger in private. No.
These two guys.
Oh, real quick before we continue, baby.
I don't believe.
Before you can you pause that real quick?
I'm giving it up just because it's
because again, if you guys go look at the footage, did you notice how Ricky Gervais was about to get up Louis C.K.'s ass about saying something about sitting on the cot because I'm gay?
Yeah.
And see, that's my whole thing about it.
Ricky Gervais is gay.
Yeah, he's
allegedly
gay. Yeah, whatever. He's gay, right? So my thing with him is you got tight about the gay joke, but then as soon as Louis C.K. said nigger, we saw all 32 of them butterscotch teeth.
Oh, Ricky Gervais do have some dirty ass teeth. Is that a white UK thing?
It's a white UK thing.
Yeah, I'm sure. Let's play the God body. What the fuck is this old nigga talking about?
We don't interrupt Italians when they say wop to each other, but a white girl can interrupt us and say nigga to us.
Let's press play again. What the fuck?
Who has the right to use the nigga word? I mean, look, I will slap the shit out of somebody for Gwyneth Paltrow. She's the homie. She's cool. If Gwyneth gets a pass, yo, real people get a pass, man. We know what this shit is. Like, we don't interrupt Italians when they say wop to each other.
This nigga dumb as fuck, man.
So this is what I'm talking about.
What the fuck is he talking about?
That's why it's a lot of you 718 niggas. The only reason why I get on y'all niggas when y'all come into the chat, a few of us, we joke back. But some of y'all New York niggas, y'all be the loudest ones in the room. Everybody else, I be getting West Coasters, my Oakland niggas be holding me down, Southern niggas my Canadian niggas be holding me down. And I'm just saying, some of y'all be some of the loudest niggas in the room, and y'all don't make sense.
And also, I just want to say real quick, if you're somebody who hit at everybody, a comedian that you be fucking roasting white people, black people, we ain't talking about you. We talking about people who talk all this shit about black people, but can't grow the clit or the balls to talk about white people and other groups who be making jokes and talking shit about them.
Replay that part again, and afterwards we're gonna listen. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So,
wow. See that? Roll that part again. Roll that last part again. The way he cocked his neck with it. He will, nigga.
Some people get a pass, and that's just how I'm on it. The people who I know is cool and real niggas, Gwyneth Paltrow's a real nigga.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, that's my homie. Shout out to Gwyneth.
Black girl lost.
You know what I'm saying? So, some people, it gets a pass.
Wow.
confused, nigga. What the fuck are you
God
talking
body
about?
talk. That's God body talk.
And these are the same dude. Yo, I'm from Jersey. I'm not lying. Some dudes from New York, even some from Jersey, even some from Philly, and I'm sure from around the fucking globe when it comes to the United States as well and some other countries. But I'm talking about the U.S. in particular. You talk to these dudes and they make no fucking sense whatsoever. Like, they be like, oh, culture vulture. Oh, man, leave the Kardashians alone, you know, though. Yo, somebody say nigga, I'll punch them in the face. No, but, you know, Gwyneth could say nigga. Tekashi could say nigga.
The South killed hip-hop.
And you'd say the South killed hip-hop.
Bro, we know
all
we
of y'all,
got.
all of y'all niggas killed hip-hop.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on.
Everybody didn't hand the coach over.
Going into
Real white bitches be calling him nigga in bed then.
Does he nut hard like Childish Gambino said with the Armenian white bitch?
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
So, you know, we had to bring that up. We had to bring up God body because, again, some 718 niggas always getting tight when I speak. I keep saying that. Everybody else in the room, they be fucking with what we say. Bro, it ain't about, because, like, come on, we got to humble ourselves with this shit. The culture jammed up right now, baby. Ain't nobody looking clean. Everybody looking dusty. Southern niggas, West Coast niggas, East Coast niggas, Haitian niggas, Dominican niggas, they don't know they niggas. So everybody looking dusty right now. So stop it. Now, if you want to call in when we open up the phone lines, I am all ears.
You want to open up the phone lines? Do you got some more? Did you say things you got to preach, my brother?
Ashe.
Ashe.
I'm just saying, though. Looked like Chris Rock was really C before. He was Gusto all this time.
Damn.
Chris Rock was MC Gusto all this time.
For those who are just coming in, we're playing the clip of Chris Rock.
I don't think you've ever said it probably in your life.
No.
Think.
He's the blackest white guy I fucking know. And in all the negative things we think about black people, this fucker.
Like
You're
Bill
saying I'm a
Clinton.
nigger.
Yes, you are.
Look at his face. Pause. I'm sorry. Please pause right there with what's his face when he says that. When he said nigger, look how Chris Rock got.
You're saying I'm a nigger.
You can roll it.
Yes, you are.
Look at
the
him.
Niggerous.
He couldn't even think of nothing. See, what happened to the 1997 Chris Rock? What happened to 9-6 Chris Rock?
I don't think he could do that.
Jerry's like, I'm protecting my brand. This is a great opportunity to seize this moment.
I mean, no, you don't even understand.
Really?
You don't really know him. Like, I've worked with him.
No, like your bit about.
I wouldn't use it anywhere.
No, exactly. These two.
Also, Jerry finally like I've never seen nigger qualities by CK. You know.
Well, hold on, real quick. Also, great point, Sam. But also Jerry Seinfeld, and this was an excellent opportunity because if I would seize this moment too to look even cleaner. But he's also saying this. He shows disgusting qualities to you, Chris. He has more respect to show the best of himself to me. Boy, come on, I can break this down all day.
Exactly. Also, we got an open mind. Yo, we appreciate the donation. Send, get Prince a dime sack of that good shit. This video, the truth. Man, we appreciate that.
You spelled it like Will Smith said it.
You say nigger on stage.
On stage.
You guys don't. That's
that's
interesting. Two teams
that's
here.
The difference between
That's right. That's right.
We
say
can
nigger
pair
on
up in
stage.
different
You guys
ways,
don't.
but that's definitely a pairing. Who
We
says
say-
nigger on stage? We don't.
Well, you just did.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
You and me say
No,
nigger in
no,
private.
No.
These two guys don't.
Why does Ricky laugh like a bitch?
I'm giving it up just
He
because
is
it's
one.
played.
I don't believe it's. I don't think you've ever said it probably in your life.
No,
I don't
never.
think. No. Yeah, that's it. That's a huge difference between.
Look at Lewis getting.
Well,
you
you
see how
upset.
he's straightening up too when he's talking to him. You can tell who has authority in the room. Ain't that some shit? It show ain't Chris.
Humor of it.
Yeah, it's
I haven't
Seinfeld.
found it.
Right.
Nor do I seek it.
I mean,
So-
I'm going to find a way.
Interesting.
Damn, where's your spinal cord, MC Gusto?
You want to open up the phone lines?
We can open up the phone lines and let the people call in. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate your big homie open mind. You know, I'm gonna chop it up with you behind the scenes. I'm gonna probably call you in the next couple days, player. We got another partner jobs for NSZ, man. So we're gonna hold it down, get it cracking. You know what I'm saying? Get it going. But again, folks, as you can see, we got some folks that are sensitive about this issue. You know what I'm saying? Well, if black people choose to respect themselves, we all niggas. If black people get off the Democrat plantation, single mothers.
Shut the fuck up. Hold on, let me pause the music. Caller, name me where you from.
Yeah, this the dark-skinned Drake, man. I'm from the ATL, but you know I'm out here in Texas riding dirty.
What's up?
Beautiful, man. I can smell the culture through the phone, player. What's going on, Third Coaster?
What's good? Hey, look, I mean, everybody acting surprised that Chris Rock a coon, right? What's his breakout role? Pookie, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, I mean, think about this. I ain't that old, but, you know, I remember, like, Red Fox and, you know, comedians like that. They didn't never have to really wear a dress and all that. You know, Nipsey Hussle, or what's his name? Well, not Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey Russell.
Nipsey Russell.
The comedian.
Yeah.
He brought all that to the game, you know, and everything like that. And ever since that really came about, and then you hear all these things about Richard Pryor being a homo. Well, I don't know how to, I don't want to be, you know, political correct. I don't know about, I be saying homo still, but.
Richard Pryor was bisexual.
Yeah, you could.
He was bisexual.
You could say what you want on this show, but this is what I will say. I don't really care about the gay shit. What I care about is when I see black comedians be in front of other groups of people and they're saying nigger or whatever, and they don't roast them back. Like,
but this is what I'm about to say, though. This is what I'm about to say about, okay, if you already gay, homo, and this man, whatever like that, and to get in Hollywood in the first place, and you know what I'm saying, you already coonish like Tyler Perry and all these people, yeah, they're going to give back to the community. Then people be like, oh, they strong. Like, it's a mixed message. Like, they do so much good, you got to be like, oh, yeah, I admire that. But the shit that get them on is like, I can't really, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, in 1 minute we say, no, that's fucked up, that's bad, whatever. But we'll celebrate them because you got a check. And see, that's the whole thing with this coon nigga shit, like from athletes to it's everyday niggas out here cooning. Like, you can't be mad at black people that's mad at black people because black people make shit look so bad. Like, I'm 41 years old. I have never, believe it or not, I've never dealt with real racism. I deal with racist things and, you know, whatever, but the only time I deal with racism is with black people. Complexion-wise, fucking monetarily wise, everything. From A to Z, we racist towards each other way harder than any race is towards us. So the shit that they say in private when they call us niggas, and that shit minor shit. Because if you really look at it, even with the Mexicans in Texas, they practice their racism, but even still to a point, they ain't gonna be like that in your face.
All right, let's address two things, because you brought up a couple of things. All right, you don't have to be gay going into the industry and it makes things just automatically easier for you. You have straight guys who sell out all the time in the industry as well. Chris Rock looks like he never got fucked, but
yeah, right.
I'm just saying he looks like it. I'm being honest. If I had to guess, you know, he doesn't have nothing like Jamie Foxx when you know allegedly he's been fucking. You're like when you know it, but. There's people who sell out every day. You got dudes who are straight co-signing the Kardashians, and they know they've been stealing from black men and women clothing lines. Like I'm
gonna tell you like this.
Go ahead.
Once you call yourself an African American, you've already sold out. Because think about it, that term only came around in the 60s, 70s. My mother is from Chattanooga, Tennessee, which. Even the name Chattanooga, it tells you it's Indian, Native American shit going on. So why have we sold out to this African shit and we don't even know the African culture, and the African culture don't even respect us half the time?
Well, you know what? Here's the thing about it. Let me go ahead and get in here, man. I do want to address some things here, man. Like for instance, I'll tell you what goes on with the whole. A lot of niggas, because it is a lot of niggas. I understand masculinity, shit, how people try all this, but this whole thing about the gay thing in Hollywood, let me tell you what that's really about. When you see two grown men in a homosexual union, that's their union, just like you and your girl, me and Sin are in a union, and an unbreakable union at that. But when you see them in a homosexual union on the streets, There's an equal balance of power, ideally, that those two have chosen to participate in. You got to understand what the act that some of these brothers go into Hollywood of being defiled is. It's not necessarily predicated on being so much a homosexual. It's a power dynamic. When you let a producer fuck you for a part, that is an act of submission on your behalf. That's what's really going on there. They do it to the women. They do it to the men. They do it to young actors. That's what it's about when people keep misquoting this whole gay thing. It's more of a power dynamic. That's what's going on in that space.
See,
That's
my
what
thing
it
is this. When I call people gay, right, my thing is not necessarily you're doing a homo thing. You could be gay by talking about going to get manicured all the time. A pretty boy, what we used to call a pretty boy ass nigga. That shit is gay to me. But that's just me being,
well, I'll say
who
this.
I am,
Come on,
or
man.
whatever.
I'm going to say this, player. You a third coaster now. You know Pimp C was into all of that shit, right?
But then Pimp C went to Atlanta and called them booty bandits.
Well, hold on now. Now, you know the whole pimp culture is perverse feminine energy, right? So when I'm just keeping it real. When we talking about DJ Quick and Sugar Free dancing around with all that fucking dark and lovely shit in their hair, when we're talking about the likes in Houston, Texas, rest in peace, Chad Butler, but he was a part of the whole pimping culture. We talking about Project Pat.
Blaxploitation films.
Player, come on. Like, you know what time it is. I'm just saying, if you're going to say that.
Let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one question. What real masculine, militant black person in the last 25 years, take Tupac out the equation, have made an impact in the world?
In the last 25 years? What is your definition of this whole masculine thing? Because Tupac acknowledged both principles of masculinity and femininity.
Well, I was just using him because that's going to be the go-to person that people are going to try to go to. Besides him, take him out the equation. No black person is going to wake up and speak their mind. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
I would say there's a lot, but if you're talking about beating the sense of being as mainstream as getting to that height like people used to do before, in the mainstream sense where everybody sees you, know it's harder to get into that space now.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you something like this. Ain't no real black man or woman getting into that space speaking some facts.
Yeah, not anymore.
Nah, man,
that
that's
day
dead.
Is done. They are here,
So
but they're not getting that space.
By saying that, what do you suggest? We just all crawl in a hole and be quiet?
Nah,
you make your own space.
Bro, first of all, I damn well ain't crawling into nothing and crying, but I will say this is that I'm not so much concerned about that space because I already know what time it is.
Yeah, and this is another thing. You got to remember in Tupac era, and there's still a lot of fucked up things happening there, but there were people trying to carve out their own space, even in hip-hop, people starting up their own labels. You got to remember that most of the industries are almost completely white-owned now.
Bro.
So that's why people have to go independent even more so. And then on top of that, you got some people who did have an independent space back in the 90s and before the 90s, and they gave it up.
Yeah, but it's all about control. That's what it's about. So ain't no real black man or black woman getting in that space.
Oh, and another thing about being submissive.
Well, you that man right now, Prince Solomon, man. That's why I subscribe to your channel and all that, man. And y'all keep it going, man. Much love to y'all, man. Because y'all speak y'all mind, and I hope y'all stay with that. You understand? Because on YouTube, that's rare, bro. Everybody trying to click for views, or they following somebody else's wave. Yeah. Y'all the only people that got y'all own original wave on the YouTube, period.
Hey, man,
so
we
much respect to
appreciate
y'all.
that. Hey, man, we
appreciate that, man. Thanks for calling
thank you so much, player from the Third Coast, man, out there in H-Town representing. You know what I'm saying? We had some disagreements on the phone, but he handled himself like a man. He didn't blow up. He didn't go crazy. He accepted our POVs as well. And we love, actually, the hometown energy as opposed to other stuff. So when we make it out to Houston and have the live conferences on stage, which we'll be setting up, we want you all to support us. We would appreciate if you support us by coming out when we show up.
And one other example of submission that I also want to present is what's one of the girls from Danity Kane that talked about what happened with Jimmy Iovine?
Oh, I can't think of her name. Prince Onyx may know.
Yeah, what's her name from Danity Kane that said they called her and the girl she was singing with ugly? Jimmy Iovine called them ugly?
From the Dirty Money Clique.
From the Dirty Money Clique.
Dope group.
Shit,
Dope.
I want to say
Don Richards.
It wasn't.
Oh yeah, it was.
I want to say it's her. I think it was her.
It was
I
Don
think.
Richards.
So Don Richards, like, I'm gonna show you another point of submission because everybody just thinks it's about those folks on the sexual. No, when you as a black man go into a business meeting, and they said, "I don't want a dark-skinned black woman," and you placate to that, you are a hoe. When another example could be like black people are gonna make mistakes. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And Dave Chappelle may do something that I don't like that we may have to talk about. But I'll tell you one story he told that I did like. He was trying to put out a sitcom that was actually possibly was going to be on network television. They told him to get rid of the black female character, get a white woman, and then we'll greenlight the show. He said no. That's the type of backbone you have to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead, Prince Onyx. You have the floor.
Yeah, you got the floor, player.
Oh yeah. It's just, honestly, you know what? I never in a million years would have, or even in 100 years would have ever expected this type of shit to come from Chris Rock. Like, I literally found out about this on Twitter. Then I saw you guys doing the live stream. I'm like, oh shit, let me see what they talking about.
Yeah.
And it just, it hurts my soul. But then again, I'm not surprised because it's like, you know what? Shit, maybe I don't know. It's like these niggas really just don't give a damn about us regular folks. They're too busy trying to, you know, kiss up to the whiteness and the upper echelon, so they don't really give a fuck about us, you know. So it hurts to see this because I've supported damn near a lot of his movies, and you know, it's like he was a comedy legend to me, and I guess he still is, but it's just this makes me look at him with a totally new set of eyes because it's like, wow, like you're really willing to do this, and you know, and then of course you got niggas going up for Seinfeld because he, again, a white person, quote unquote, did the right thing, and niggas is, you know, niggas will go up for anybody non-black who does the bare minimum when it comes to our issues. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I'll say this.
You know what? I'll honestly say the caller before, he kind of got on my nerves a little bit, but I'm just like, you know what? A clueless nigga in his 40s, what do you expect? Just like sometimes some niggas you just got to get slid across the floor and just call a thing a thing.
Well, you know,
go ahead, Prince.
No, I mean to step on your toes. Go ahead, Sin. You speak, and you know me, I'll come behind you.
Oh yeah, like this is a comfortable space just for all people to talk. You know, sometimes people are not going to articulate themselves the right way, but it's about just educating people, letting them know how the game really is, so they don't really think it's just it's just gay, it's just this is just that.
Yeah.
That's not how anything works, especially when it's a system. That's created for submission pertaining to black people. But go ahead, Prince. It sounded like you was about to say something.
Well, what I'll say, Prince Onyx, and I'm going to be fair to the brother before, because it's something that Sin and I actually is still learning to accept, is that we're finding out people have been actually nervous talking to us. We've seen it in person when we showed up to We Buy Black. Shouts out to Sharif out there, the brother that is pretty much the coordinator and the head of We Buy Black. And when we had people coming out from Mississippi, Memphis, people coming from New York, people coming from California to reach out to us, and when they met us in person, they were actually nervous. So now we get it. When some folks come on the air, when they call in, a lot of times they just get nervous. We've seen it. Shouts out, I would call a sister out, but Zatanna, we've seen it happen when she calls. So I take all that into consideration. Unless I get that hostile energy when somebody calls in and they're trying to like, yo, y'all shut the fuck up and all that, then I'm like, okay, so they just really, you know, so sometimes it sounded like he was trying to get his thoughts together a little more, but, you know, we just had to clarify some shit, you know what I'm saying? But it's all in respect and love. As far as Chris Rock player, he's still a great comedian to me. You know, I think Chris Rock.
He still is.
He is the type of individual when black people online get on his ass, he gonna show up and try to explain himself. I don't know if he's gonna be able to clean this one up because you missed an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So people are always gonna just look at him sideways. But I don't think black people ever really completely throw Chris Rock out.
It's not about hate. It's just about correcting. It's just about correcting. It's not about hate. I like Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Most of the people we gonna be talking about we like, but things gotta be corrected.
That's it, man. That's all it is with this situation.
People gotta learn to get on code.
You know, he looked like Pookie struggling, fighting crack in that room. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what are you doing? Bro, what you doing? Like, come on. And then he was shifted because when Louis C.K. said, and did you see, like, you could tell Louis C.K. know what the fuck he doing. Did you see how he looked at him when he said nigger? Like, he was waiting for his reaction. You know what I'm saying?
And also for Strategy King, before we let Prince have the final word, Onyx had the final word, he said, why is it that folks expect comedians to be W.E. Du Bois? Actually, no. We expected Chris Rock to roast them in return. He did not do that. If any white person was in front of us saying nigger jokes, best believe we would be on that ass saying jokes in return
Rancho
about
Cucamongo
fucking
cracker killers.
See, that's what will be going on. I'm not gonna be like. And first of all, I wouldn't call no cracker no real nigga anyway.
Nah,
Fuck
because
outta here.
yeah, because and we see the perversity. And I told Sin a little bit before that shit broke out about him showing his freckled dick to women. There was a podcast I was listening to, and it was kind of like neo-Nazi type humor, and Louis C.K. was on there. And he was just going in on like black men and women,
calling y'all big bucks and shit.
Yeah, I was like,
that's
yo,
what Louis
that's
C.K. called y'all on a podcast.
Yeah, because I had to
big
double check.
bucks.
I was like, is this Louis C.K. talking about niggers robbing and shit like that? So when he looked at Chris Rock and said, and Chris Rock like he just looked like a deer in the headlight, like he didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to say. I'm like, Chris, come on, bro. You looking like Washington Wizard Jordan out here with these knees. What we doing? So, that's why, we said what we said. It's a moment of correction, and he deserves to be baptized in roasting right now. So that's why Twitter's going in on his ass right now.
What's your final words on
it? Yeah, he definitely does. And you know what? Listen, I still like him too, and I still rocks with him, but it ain't enough bleach and Pine-Sol in the world to clean this shit up, so he's just going to have to soak in all of these juices of getting roasted for the time being, and maybe another wave will come, and we'll be putting our energy on focus on somebody else. So there's that. Also, to all you niggas out there, it ain't gay to get a manicure or a pedicure. If you guys actually keep yourselves up to par, maybe you'll actually get a woman. Other than that, peace out.
Yeah, I think being clean is good. I agree. I'm sorry.
I love being clean.
Prince is clean. That's why it's
Sin know me. I get mad. I'm like, I need to go take a shower.
Yeah. Caller, name and where you're from. What's up? Name and where you're from.
Hey, what's up? My name is Deshante. I'm from Chicago, out south.
All right, another Chicago player on the line. What's up, man?
What's good? To be honest with you, in my perspective, I ain't never been too kind of letting, particularly white people, anybody that ain't my color, basically consider them black and stuff. Cause like, man, if you ain't went through what I went through, then you can't be possibly what I am. You can't speak from my perspective. You can't basically, I don't see why niggas be doing that shit. To me, I see that shit is kind of desperate and weak, in my opinion. Because if you ain't been pat down the streets like I have, if you ain't been hemmed up and choked up by police and been in a oppressive state like I have, and I ain't trying to be on no pro-black shit, because to be honest with you, I ain't really of that perspective. But if you ain't went on through the dirty struggles of being black, I can't basically say that, oh, you real niggas just like me. To me, that's kind of dumb.
It is.
Yeah, because no one's saying that everybody got to be a Superman and pro-blackness, but just have some common sense with collective consciousness. Common sense is when if you allow certain behavior, it's going to be bad for you and everybody that looks like you.
Well,
so it don't matter if you're in an interracial relationship,
Yeah.
don't matter if you're gay, don't matter what the fuck is going on. You cannot let yourself be disrespected and come off as weak.
Well, you know what, man? I'm going to play with you.
Exactly.
I got you on that one, man. I definitely agree with you. It's like, it ain't like Louis C.K. said, Chris Rock is the whitest Irish dude I know, because I think Louis C.K. is from one of them dirty Irish Scotland clans.
Oh, he a dirty cracker.
Yeah,
I thought he was Latino or something, because they say he was an albino.
Nah, he a dirty, dingy Irishman.
What he doing, that Elizabeth Warren $5 Indian shit?
Shit, probably. I don't know, Joe, for real. But shit, I thought he was one of them all-white motherfuckers. I thought he was one of them.
Oh, I know
but either
that.
way, he not of my shade, and I ain't trying to say like, oh, black people versus everybody. But it's
Louis
like,
C.K. is Mexican.
we got a different perspective in this world.
This
and it's like, I ain't trying to play the oppression Olympics, but niggas go through a lot. Especially if you come from Chicago. I'm gonna show you like I don't know if you know about the statistics in Chicago, not to get off beat, but we one of the most segregated cities in the United States. You could take the red line from out south from 95th and keep going. The further north you go, the better it gets, the whiter and non-black you get. Once you go past 35th, around the low end off the train, that's when it starts getting instead of seeing less black people. But you notice this though. Once you go past south, it's less of the hood.
Yo.
Now you got, and it's like the segregation is real. And it's like, I can't say you wanted me when you not in the same position like I am. Because I know, learn from early age, like, we got it out here different. And it's like, I kind of say you could fight for my struggle, but not even that. Because who gonna get the punishment? Who gonna get the worst end of the beat? Me, the nigga, not you.
That's the thing.
That's
and
what
also,
I'm talking about,
like,
Chicago.
You letting people disrespect you with. It's not like y'all all, or most of us is not being fucked over, and then people are making jokes. Like, you know, people wouldn't give a fuck. I mean, black people like to laugh, period, even at things that are inappropriate to laugh at, right? But when people are fucking you over, and the same people are fucking you over want to laugh and think things is cool, get the fuck out of here.
They want to joke on you, about you, in front of your face.
You
So
don't get
it's
to do that.
like, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Even those guys that be like, yeah, man, I don't have no problem, you know, as long as we do the dirty jokes. Because I seen Charlemagne flinch in front of Schultz when Schultz go too far. Did you notice even when we played that clip of the legendary Petey Green, that when as soon as Howard Stern
went too far, Petey Green got in that ass.
But you saw how he kind of looked.
Exactly.
And he's like, and then so even with Chris Rock, what I'm saying is, as soon as Louis C.K. said nigger, you can look at his body language like he cared. You see what I'm saying? But he couldn't think of none because he came across weak. He had nothing. At this point, he had empowered this white man around him to feel so comfortable to say it. And Louis C.K., he says it sadistically. It's like, what, I'm a nigger?
Exactly. This totally gave you, like, he felt so, like, offended or some shit. Like, I'm a nigger, like, yo, like, oh, yeah, you are. Like, you kind of came off like a whole goofy.
Yeah, he did. He did look like a goofy, man. But we appreciate you, Chicago, man. We love y'all out there.
Man.
Beautiful city. We enjoyed ourselves. Y'all took care of us while we was out there, all right?
Peace.
Oh, yeah, I fuck with y'all kind of too, though. Y'all creative as hell, though. On everything, like, I ain't feel like y'all some real talented artists, though, for real. I'm mad I missed that little demo in August, though. It was a little situation, but like I said, next time y'all come out there, like, shit, I guess you post it up, I'll definitely fly out there and see what's up.
Already, man. Appreciate you.
I love both of y'all. Peace.
Peace. Also, we got a new caller. Name and where you're from.
Hey, this is Jacob from H-Town, holding it down.
What's up?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm doing good. I'm a little, if I sound a little nervous, it's because I'm drunk a monster, but my 2 cents on the whole Chris Rock thing, I would have brought up the whole, the Me Too thing with Louis C.K. I don't know if it was him, but didn't Louis C.K. like jack off in front of women?
He was
Or
women.
make women uncomfortable?
It was female comedians who were trying to get work. He would jerk off in front of them. He would harass them. Yeah, he did all that shit.
I would have went there with him.
But
I would have went there. Like, if I was Chris Rock, I would have just brought that shit up.
But you know, though, he.
I know.
No, I was gonna say he quantified that perverse, disgusting attitude to black people. He said, "You are a nigga. You are nigga. You the blackest nigga I know." And you mess with women against their will. Against their will. It's like when people try to say Bill Clinton was a nigga. He a nigga because he's cheating on his wife and he do drugs.
Yeah, you know what was crazy about that player? You know, well, anyway, this a little bit of context here. This recording was in 2012. For whatever reason, it's resurfacing now. All I know is they're associating Chris Rock's name specifically with Louis C.K. So I don't know who he pissed off behind the scene or what trend this is. All I know, this is an example for us to talk about.
2012.
Yes, this is before Louis C.K. pulled out his freckle
But
dick.
it's the same
You know
thing
what I'm
with
saying?
Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart made a joke that was
Damn,
old.
okay. I understand.
And they still tried to fuck with him.
Yeah. See, but that's the thing about it, though, right?
But they're not fucking with Cyril Silverman. I want Twitter, since we on this campaign, to pull that skinny bitch with the brimstick nose, Silver Silverman, for blackface.
Yeah.
If she had blackface, pull her ass up too.
They all did. Jimmy Kimmel.
Pull his ass
They all
too.
had
Jimmy
blackface.
Fallon, pull his ass up too.
The Black Thought still freestyling in that room with that nigga. Or wigger, jigger. All right? There'll be a jigger, right? But I will say this, man. The thing about it, though, at the end of the day, it's just another example of a rich Negro displaying weakness because he's scared. Don't want to offend anybody. You know what I'm saying? If you really look at the room, right? The 2 most powerful people in the room was Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock. If you look at their network, if you look at the presence and what they've contributed, Ricky Gervais, that gerbil face bitch from across the seas,
across the pond,
right? Him and Louis C.K.'s comedic discography, filmography is nowhere near as extensive as Chris Rock, but Chris Rock was speaking with so much weakness in the room, and that's my issue.
Yeah, it was just awkward. It was so awkward to see Chris Rock just like let him slide like that. Like, You just gonna really say you're gonna let him really say I'm a nigger like y'all? It's just so weird. Yeah, bro, I'm a nigger.
Yeah.
Can I come to the cookout? Those
Yeah.
are some nice yams you got there.
And then you gotta understand the stupidity of other people. Let me just break it down for niggas who be acting slow. White people would sit there and laugh at jokes about you. Mexicans laugh at what's that old burrito? George Lopez.
George Lopez.
He said the Mexican
George
community.
Lopez.
Yeah, he said the Mexican community don't fuck with black people. They don't fuck with, and Mexicans listen to that. But then they come on.
A sodium-headed bitch.
And we do got a lot of Mexicans who listen to us, right?
Yeah.
So then they come to our fucking channel and fucking bitch. Fucking Mexicans, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
All y'all y'all listen
Negrita,
to y'all listen to
negrito,
comedy talk about niggas all the time.
Azúcar negrita.
Shut the fuck up.
Ooh, chulo.
They always. I don't have anything against Mexicans, but
no,
they do kind of annoy me when they try to act black and get mad when you start talking about them, and you know what I'm saying. Like,
well, I just think it's fair game. That's all I am.
Yeah,
I'm like this. This is how I am. This is why I get how I get with people. If you open up the gate and you release the Kraken, I expect that bitch to eat everyone.
There shouldn't be no ADL when it comes to comedians then. Nobody should be coming in and talking about you gonna get removed because you said this about Jews. You gonna get removed because you made an old joke about gay people. Fuck out of here. It's either it's the Wild Wild West when comedians, dark crimes, anybody can say whatever they want, or we're gonna all be nice.
Well, there's another thing about it too, man. Look, Kevin Hart has annoyed me. In many ways, especially when he gave that pound cake speech on the Breakfast Club when he couldn't come up with, like, I'm like, bro, stop hitting the dozens with Cat Williams. You're not going to be able to fuck with him in that spot. That's like Star against academics. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't going to be able to fuck with him. Let it go. So what he did, the reason why they got on Kevin Hart, and he don't understand, he got serious. When Cat kept roasting him, all of a sudden it became a woe is me pound cake speech, man. So he started talking about what do black people want. You want to push it. So that part annoyed me about Kevin Hart because ideally I don't have no problem with Kevin Hart. He does his thing. He makes his money. I don't give a fuck. I actually like it. You know what I'm saying? He's still supporting his wife. He's still supporting his kids and everything. I'm talking about the wife he originally had, Tory Hart. You know what I'm saying? He's still he's still doing this thing as a black father. Now, what I didn't agree with, I just personally said, well, I mean, that ain't right, but it's going to happen, is how white liberals, and then we got black gentrifying complex black liberals that want to tag onto their nuts, was trying to slide Kevin Hart for a roasting session he was having with Marlon Wayans at the time. Now, we all know, black people know, we paid attention because I watched when Kevin Hart and Marlon Wayans were roasting each other. That shit was funny. But all of a sudden...
Like back in... you remember that?
Yeah. They digging that shit up. I was like, what is this cleaning out the closet Eminem shit? Why y'all going there? Kevin Hart can't host the Oscars. But then Howard Stern, with what you see the atrocious shit he said. You see the atrocious shit he's done. He's on his net worth is like $600 million. Nobody stopped that.
Yeah, that shit's crazy because I didn't even think that joke was even that bad. It was just a gay joke. What's like personally that doesn't even bother me, but you know, I don't know. I thought that was really petty for the people to get mad at, especially since it was from 2011, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
it was around that time. This is why I think it's petty. All right.
Cherry picking comedy.
Yeah, it is cherry picking. That's what I have a problem with this fucking cherry picking society.
Either we all can roast or it gotta be all or none. Stop it. Like,
if Eminem
bullshit.
could say moon crickets, if he can say black girls only want money and still be hailed as one of the premier MCs in hip hop and people fight for him, including black complex babies, then we need to be able to move around. And my thing is with the comedy space, I'm just tired of people addressing comedy with more respect. Like there's supposed to be respectability politics there more so than we actually do with politics. Like we got a president in office talking about grabbing pussy and siding himself with the alt-right and all of that crazy shit.
They right out here calling LeBron James racist. But we can't call Silverman racist.
Come on
She was
now.
on blackface, Howard Stern, Jimmy Fallon. That's what I'm saying, the hypocrisy. And LeBron is talking about like some real shit. He's not joking around. He's not even calling people's name. So
Makes
it's
me
like
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable.
It makes me uncomfortable.
LeBron is
I don't want to
racist.
talk about this.
Most white people are annoying. That's a fact.
LeBron didn't a white person like spray racist graffiti on LeBron's house?
Yeah,
They
call
also
him a nigger, yeah.
They also sprayed it on Meek Mill's father house, I believe. Mother house, excuse me, mother house.
Mother or grandmother, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't fucking with his shit before, but when Meek Mill starts speaking about politics in the prison industrial complex, now he's offensive. You see what I'm saying? When a nigga's rapping about killing a nigga, and I love Meek Mill's music, but we had to put it in context. As long as a nigga raps about killing niggas, it's okay. But if that nigga starts speaking about black politics, then there's an issue.
Yeah, a caller spoke on it where he said why all these, rappers would just say nigga or even nigger, but they never say cracker and stuff. Now, J. Cole has said cracker before, and in the 90s...
He said retard, too.
Yeah, and in the 90s... You used to have rappers who would go in on white people even when they say nigga. Now you have them just saying nigga and they're not talking about no other group.
Nope.
I mean, it's just what it is, man. I mean, I remember people taking out columns against groups like Dead Prez when I was little. You know what I'm saying? Because Dead Prez was one of my favorite groups, one of my hip-hop favorite groups. And I just saw the anger they had. But some of the other stuff, again, it's excuse me, and they're selective with it. And the fact that Chris Rock is skittish in a space where they're selective is just, it was a repulsive moment for me to watch. I says, damn, Chris Rock. But it is what it is. My man, player, appreciate you calling in, by the way. You take care, all right? That's what I'm talking about. Again, you can give the people the number to let them know we still have the lines open.
Is 281-899-0392. Again, the number is we got somebody right now. Caller, name and where you're from.
Oh, what's up, y'all? It's LB.
Yo, what's up, LB?
Yeah, I just happened to see like all these headlines while I was coming from seeing Aquaman. I'm like, what the hell going on with Chris Rock? So I just watched the clip like just now, like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. No, you thought Chris Rock was dead.
No. I saw the headline, something about like with Louis C.K. I was like, oh, well, what the fuck happened? Then he couldn't. He did. I'm surprised he didn't respond back to with the classic cracker shit.
He ain't gonna do that shit, man. You see that nigga sipping coffee. You see he's sipping coffee. He in his
scarf on.
He in his Upper Manhattan blipster space now.
Digest magazine glasses.
Yeah, there you go. He ain't gonna do that.
Chris Rock is still the GOAT, but he gonna have to take this last, because it comes off ridiculous, especially when you was like, I know he ain't like no politician, like political activist or anything like that, but he was doing like his little speeches with his jokes and stuff when he was with the Oscars So White movement shit like 2 years ago.
But he also helped the Oscars and protected them too, and hosted and talked shit about niggas.
Well, he went on Will and Jada.
And for the crackers.
Yeah, he roasted Will and Jada. And then if y'all actually go look at it, let me tell you something. Chris Rock has lost his edge he has lost it for a long time. Because I remember when he was roasting Will and Jada, he roasted them at the Oscars,
the
right?
Cracker Awards.
Yeah, whatever it was.
What it is, yeah.
Yeah, where the Kraft Mayonnaise Awards. and then when he went to Leonardo DiCaprio, I love reading body language. There was a moment where he was about to start up and Leonardo looked at him like he would have looked at that nigga in Django. And then Chris Rock kind of said, yeah, Leonardo, man, he just be fucking women. And then he moved on to someone else. And that was a skittish moment.
He tried to talk about Jada Pickett's talents and Will Smith. Half of them coke bitches can't act anyway that you're in the fucking audience with. A few of them can, but most of them can't.
Yeah,
what the fuck you sucking their dick for?
Well, he got scared when he looked at Leonardo DiCaprio. For what reason, I do not know. You know what I'm saying? But
I was about to ask you that because I have like, why? Because I was thinking like, what? I don't even remember like the state of on because I don't even think I watched it. I just happened to see the clip, so I don't know like what he was saying. I don't even remember because it's been so long.
Oh, yeah, I remember because I pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? And I've been following Chris Rock for a long time, and so I remember when he lost his mojo on that stage, man. But appreciate you so much. Thank you for calling in, player, as well. Again, the lines are still open, folks. If you have anything to say on this situation with Chris Rock.
The number is 281-899-0392. Again, the number is 281-899-0392.
Yeah, and also Ricky Gervais. You know?
Yeah, I forgot. People aren't even paying attention to that bitch.
Did you hear?
And also, for those who are coming in, we're going to play the clip again right now for y'all.
He's the blackest white guy I fucking know. And then all the negative things we think about black people, this fucker.
You're saying I'm a nigger.
Yes, you are the niggerest fucking white man I have ever.
Oh, amazing. I don't think he could do that.
Oh.
What? I don't think he has those
There's
qualities.
only two.
Look at Jerry. I don't think he's a nigger.
I mean,
I know they exist, but he's not one.
Really?
You don't really know him like I've worked with him.
No, like your bit about.
I wouldn't use it anywhere.
No, exactly. These two.
We
use
say
that
nigger on stage.
On stage.
You guys don't. That's
an
interesting two teams
That's
here.
the difference between
That's right. That's right. We say
pair
nigger on
up in
stage. You
different
guys
ways,
don't.
but that's definitely a pairing. Who
We
says
say-
nigger on stage? We don't.
Well, you just did.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
You and me say
No,
nigger
no,
in
I'm not.
private.
No.
These two guys don't. I don't believe he says it in private
I've
much.
given it up just because it's played.
I don't believe it's. I don't think you've ever said it probably in your life.
No,
I don't
never.
think. No. Yeah, that's it. That's the huge difference.
Jerry
between you and me,
Seinfeld
I
is
think.
the authority.
Well,
in the
you
room.
said it.
found the humor of it.
Yeah.
I haven't found it.
Right.
Nor do I seek it.
I mean,
So-
find
a way.
Look at that. You see right there. You saw that little that sly smile he had. That smirk. It was kind of like "fuck you," Louis C.K. He's like, "Ha, fuck you, dirty cracker." Anyway, so shouts out to Magnetic.
But
He
you-
says here,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
real quick. He says, "Cracker is such a weak term," and you know what? I agree, player. So let's call them bleach spots.
Bleach bitches?
Bleach spots.
Well,
all
what
right.
about the whole thing with their low sperm count? What can you make out of that?
Bleach spots. That's what he's saying. 3 bleach spots in the room. So there we go. All right. So anyway, there you have it. Chris Rock getting nervous. And if, again, shouts out to the person that brought up the body language. If you look at the body language, again, when Jerry Seinfeld says, I don't think he's that. Did you see how Chris Rock, at first he contested and he touched Louis C.K. He says, no, you don't understand. I know him, Massa. He says it because I know him. And then when Jerry was like, nah, I don't get it. And then you saw Jerry sip his coffee. Then he pulled back. Well, I don't use the word. I don't use the word. It's like, bro, come on.
Also, since while people are not on the line, maybe kind of segue. It still is on topic, but indirectly. Because I want to show the comment section, for example, of what I mean by how dudes just don't stay on code. And how it's just rampant on YouTube. May I? Because they suck up Joe Rogan's nuts and the white dude's talking points. I just want to showcase that real quick.
Yeah, okay. While Sin is doing that, also, getting careful because you're going to get bleached, niggas, even in fiction, science fiction.
These are the black and May niggas.
Well, before we get to the black and May niggas.
The black and May niggas.
If you notice in the new Men in Black, they say Chris Hemsworth's character is the best MIB agent in history, getting rid of Agent J. Damn. That's Will Smith.
The depiction of black women in the media has been an ongoing issue for a while now.
Shout this brother out, by the way.
Oh, and I'm going to make it clear. I like this dude's video. His name is The Storyteller.
Yes.
Subscribe to his channel.
Shout out to that brother. Shouts out to your player, Storyteller.
Yes.
We enjoy your material, by the way.
Definitely enjoy his material. I don't know. Can you tell me if you see it on the screen, the words properly? If you can see them?
I can't spell properly.
No, but can you
see?
Can you see that? Like, they
can see the words. You can read. You got a great narrating voice.
Okay,
Go
no, because it comes out fuzzy on my screen, so I want to make sure they see what I'm showing to them. So I'm gonna scroll down and find it real quick.
Come on, Sam, you know everybody's on audiobooks. Nobody reads anymore. Let's go.
Actually, I'm gonna drag it down here.
Just double the speed.
And okay, there we go. Okay, we have a call. Should we put them on hold, or should we go into this real quick?
Well, let's address the call real quick, and then we'll segue to this moment. Caller, you're now live with Thought Crime. Sin was about to narrate, but you interrupted.
What's your name and where you from?
Yeah. Oh, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Black propaganda. But I catch y'all show all the time, and so I love y'all show. I love how y'all show set up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all take pride in y'all show. But like I said, man, it's sad to see our people act like that. You know what I'm saying? Bow down. It's like our people don't have no nuts. It's like our people don't have no heart to say what they need to say. You know what I'm saying? They just words. They're going to blackball you. And if you've been poor before, you know what I'm saying? What's wrong with being poor again? Because, we the best survivors. We've been surviving with the little that we got.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, we don't need to masculate ourselves. I just been waiting for something to kick off, whatever. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm really tired of all this because it's like really social media is just priming you up to become racist, to become, real hateful.
All right, man. No doubt about it. Player all the way from Milwaukee. Shouts out to the players and playettes in Milwaukee. Y'all always show us love as well. We're going to be having to deal with y'all, visit y'all in person. Also, and I want to shout out one player on Facebook. Renee states here, his brother Tony Rock is the gangster. Yeah, I actually like Tony Rock's comedy.
But Tony Rock is going to be compromised because he loves his brother. Family is family.
Of course.
So
he's
going to defend that ass.
You know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
Aren't they Brooklyn niggas?
They're Brooklyn niggas.
They Bed-Stuy, right? That's am I correct or not? Yeah.
I think
Go ahead,
right.
Sin. You read this little essay you have here.
So why are you talking about essay? And again, remember, the storyteller is not the issue.
No, shouts out to that brother.
I fuck with his channel.
Yeah,
and he was making, and let me just tell y'all what went down. So he made a video talking about how representation is so important. And how there's an anime that represents black women, even though it's not perfect, that there's an anime that's representing black female characters. And he was saying how it's very important for there to be black writers and black women doing all these things and content creators and all that. So you had Joe Rogan niggas, and they were niggas, Joe Rogan niggas, who were basically calling him a social justice warrior and all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. So then eventually we scroll down here, we see Booty Warrior. Okay, do I have to say anymore? All right, he said, basically, when someone asks, why don't black women create their own content, even though they do, he says they can't because they fucking suck. Can you name one movie that is actually good that was written by a woman? Now, he said by A. He said A was just supposed to be in plural, but he put an E and, again, grammar and all that. So he obviously he's not somebody who actually reads.
Right.
So let's go down further to see what I said, because also you had somebody named Ratchet Coon who got mad at me because of what I wrote.
Ratchet Coon.
Look, I'm gonna give myself shit. What did I just do?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me go back, everybody. Damn it, I had to fuck up. Hold on. I'm gonna get back to it.
Our passwords can't be seen,
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm not signing in because I don't want them to see our password.
Yeah.
Let me put the
Also, while you're doing that, shouts out to the people who are listening to us on Periscope. Shouts out to Uncle Grandpa. That's a creepy-ass cartoon, by the way. Shouts out to No Aska Needed. I hope I'm saying it right. And also, Info with Musa brings up a great point here. It says Chris Rock would have only responded if the other comedian had been black.
The depiction of black women in the media has been an ongoing issue for a while now.
Shouts out to Storyteller. We do fuck with your channel, player. We love your material.
Yes. Okay, I'm getting back to my response to Booty Warrior. Okay, here we go. Okay, I told him Black Lightning, a black woman actually writes. She's the lead writer for Black Lightning, even though it's a couple. I know they're in trouble right now, the Kills, but she's also written for Girlfriends, which is a pretty good show. Series. I don't care what anybody says.
Her husband's in trouble. She's not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Her husband's in trouble right now. And black people are trying to stay on code and not mention anything until unless it's true.
Confirmed.
They're waiting for it to be confirmed because, they like them as a couple. So then we have, Malcolm X, Down in the Delta, Belly. You had Mudbound. You have a lot of films, basically, that I put out there. Because I know a lot of dudes don't read, so they say stupid shit about black women in particular, stats and shit. Things that people don't have any time to actually do research on, but they want to fucking talk. So basically I said, the list goes on of black women who have written in scripts that have been screenwriters. But on top of that, black women have written a lot of books. They are out there. And there are a lot of films that are created based off of a film. I mean, based off of a book, whether it was a nonfiction or a fictional story. So basically I put that in what I wrote as well. Because I really hate when you have idiots that are coming out there always sniping. Then they want to try to put black women with women in general because they be on that Joe Rogan shit. But here's another thing I put out. I'm like, well, since we're on the topic, like most people don't even know that Rosetta Tharpe is the creator of rock and roll music. Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Johnny Cash, a lot of people we like and love music-wise, got that and were inspired by a black woman named Rosetta Tharpe. Now, just because after Rosetta Tharpe, eventually rock and roll music becomes predominantly male-driven, in particular black, and then it becomes predominantly white male for the last 3 decades, it becomes predominantly white male, does not mean that there aren't A, black women that still do rock and roll right now. B, that does not mean that the people who created it, it wasn't created by them, because you see a lot of white people right now. So look, it's really is going to be important for the smartest of us to come in the forefront of this culture, which is black culture, which is universal, because if we don't, we are fucking doomed. If you have dumbasses online who think they're smart and they don't even fucking read, for example, like Kanye West and people like Dick Right, people who don't even read, why are you listening to them?
It's because Kanye West made
let me get off my soapbox now. Go ahead.
Dropout. You want to give yourself a round of applause?
No, I don't
want.
want
the sound thing up, girl. All right.
You want me to give myself one?
Give yourself a round of applause. Sincere, get a round of applause. There you go. Educating booty warrior. Look, man, it's always going to be... America is a tapestry of multicultural warfare. So, that's what's going on right now. And you have that opportunity to educate. If they don't want to take it right there, it's going to resonate with them somewhere along the lines, because they're going to get the information again. The universe always says you keep resisting, it's going to keep happening. I mean, look, Chris Rock right now is getting roasted. I will say this, more than likely, people are not going to hold let me take that back. They're not going to hold Louis C.K. Accountable nowhere near the level for his sexual indiscretions, the way they're trying to parade Chris Rock around right now. Because I'm seeing Variety, Vanity Fair, all of these, liberal Hollywood outlets. Now they're writing op-ed pieces on Chris Rock, like he said, kill all Jews or something. You know what I'm saying? And all that nigga did was be weak and sip a cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? The real transgressors in the room was everybody else, but Chris Rock allowed for it to continue to happen. But that's what happens when you are in that space and they have your dick on the chopping block or your clit on the chopping block at any point in time. You feel like the hammer's going to come down. So even you can say what you want to say about Kevin Hart. We've had our criticisms of him, but he did say, I'm not apologizing. I'm standing on my square. And they made him out to be Hitler or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. So that's the hypocrisy in the culture, especially Hollywood. Like, my thing with Hollywood, the reason why I'm severely not interested in Hollywood, your first film that launches that whole economy was Birth of a Nation.
Yes.
Now, you're sensitive about black comedians banging, jonesing, roasting on other black comedians. You want to play this PC culture when convenient. Your whole culture was built off of, again, Birth of a Nation and subsequent films like Birth of a Nation. We always reference Birth of a Nation as an arc point, but we have to keep in mind Birth of a Nation was the beginning of a Hollywood trend, a genre which aspects of the characters that were in Birth of a Nation, particularly the black brute, the black wench, still resonate in films today. So that's what the thing that's just the hypocrisy about all of this. So all these people play this, when convenience shit. We saw what we saw with H&M. We saw what we saw with Prada. Even right now with PewDiePie, he got his fans hacking Wall Street Journal right now. And he is still allowed to operate with impunity. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's a big joke. Like, as much as like we say what we're saying about Chris Rock, I'm not throwing nobody out right now because, again, they're not handling their own. They're actually pushing them and allowing them to continue to stun on us. Like, look at Mel Gibson. He right there, he had a chance to recover. He was in Expendables 3.4. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
he still gets nominated. He still gets to say what he want to say. He gets to do what he want to do. A lot of these guys do.
And no one is throwing out Chris Rock because everything you said is right. This is about Louis C.K. and it's about Chris Rock. Should have just said something to roast him back. It's that simple. And everybody's talking about Kanye West. I'm going to just say this right now.
What they saying about him?
I'll say whatever the fuck I want, and I say Kanye West is a dumbass. When you speak on things that you don't know about and you say you don't read,
your points about subjects that are important for people to be knowledgeable only if you read. I mean, you have to read bills, right? You have to read policies. You have to actually know what the fuck you're talking about. And you can't be a hypocrite when you're talking about gentrification and shit like that, but you're living that type of lifestyle. One, people have to know and comprehend the difference between collective, doing something, and individual. Kanye West as an individual has done a lot for himself. Rap and hip-hop music was already created. Backpack was already there, although he was one of the biggest icon in backpack rap music. Those elements was already there when Kanye West was there. It's not like he created hip-hop and then y'all all benefited from it. Two, you don't have hospitals being built by him. You don't have all these things, so I don't know why people are riding on his nuts. As an artist, musical artist, creator.
He's got some dope albums.
Really good.
Yeah, come on now. He got what, 4 classics?
I would say 5 classic albums.
What's the 5th one?
For me?
Yeah. What was the 5th one?
Well, he had his trilogy.
Yeah.
Then he had 808's Heartbreaks, and then the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's 5 for me.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I agree. I agree with you. I was just
me.
slipping. I was trying to figure out. I was like, what was the 5th one? Anyway, all right. Fuck his discography. Yeah.
And my problem with a lot of y'all don't care about people who are trying to create a collective upbringing. You don't care about black people who are independent, who are trying to create companies where black people are coming up as a whole, where they want black people to have their own industry. Y'all sucking on niggas that are trying to make a space for themselves in white industries.
Yeah,
and that are confused, and they change their mind. They're like, one day they want to be Malcolm X, the next day they want to be some
Chris Rock did that.
Bum who don't care.
Remember Chris Rock did that when he had the Malcolm X goatee and he had the glasses. Remember he took a selfie of himself being pulled over by the police. Remember, he was like, I'm rich, but I'm black, blah, blah, blah. When he was being pulled over and Black Twitter was sympathizing with him and resharing, then, Louis C.K. calls him a nigger to his face.
Oh, absolutely. Caller, name me where you're from.
Yeah, this is Dark Skin Drake again. I was just listening to what y'all was saying. I thought about that David Banner interview with the Dream Champs. Have y'all seen it?
I haven't. I've seen... I've scrolled over a clip. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Man, you gotta watch that, man. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get a lot of content out of that, man. Okay. But racism. I hate to say it like this, like black people shouldn't be concerned with that no more. But it's like we put a lot of energy into what white people think of us, man. And it's like, why do I was raised like with a lot of black militants and shit like that. So I'm not coming from a victim mind state of like, oh, we're called niggers or this. I mean, listen, we could go off and say every negative word, but the whole thing about it, these crackers and these Asians and these other races, they economically beating the fuck out of us right now. All we doing is laughing and spending all our money with these motherfuckers.
Well, and also to also add to that, there are a lot of black people who are in the sectors that white people have control and power. On Twitter, we follow. There's a lot of black people in AI.
Yeah, I heard y'all was talking about that tech. That's the new thing right now,
A lot of black people all over the place that's doing that, and it's like. Look, is it very annoying that I don't see a lot of black people really getting excited and wanting to help these black people who are all in tech, and there's so many of them. There's thousands of companies out there. Yeah, it fucking irritates me. But, unfortunately, you're going to have somebody who's a part of the entertainment sector for now to really get this shit going, because that's where most people are fucking paying attention to.
And let me ask y'all one thing. It's kind of a little off subject, but how did y'all get y'all whole YouTube thing popping? You know what I'm saying? Because nobody never shares that information. I just see that next thing everybody talking about, let me give me likes and subscribe, likes, and but how do y'all actually get that shit popping to where people want to actually watch y'all and shit like that?
Well, one thing I will say, even before I even get into that, to let you know, is that for us, we're actually trying to get off of YouTube, though, because we like to be independent. But I'll still tell you what we did, though. First of all, we met like-minded people. Prince and I were both about having good work ethic. We both creatively are very similar, even though we have our differences and our different point of views. So one thing that's really important is to find people who you can fuck with and y'all get along. The chemistry is there. You don't have to worry about nobody backstabbing you, nobody betraying you. And then y'all also have to have the same type of strategy. So are you for yourself, for somebody you're working with, are both of y'all or the team about independence, or are y'all
I'm doing this all independently right now.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is, I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. I got a Hustle 101 platform, right? 101 ways to hustle, and basically talking to all kind of hustlers from all kind of walks of life about, not particularly, the ins and outs of everything, but basically like the drive of the whole thing, the whole hustle of it, to get up and go, the mentality,
I got what you're
stuff
doing.
like that.
I see what you're doing. I see
So-
where you're coming from with your question.
So yeah, I
I
can
got
subscribe
you.
to my
Yeah.
channel and stuff like that. Look at my content, tell me where I'm fucking up at. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being myself right now.
Okay.
But I definitely want some input from the people, like you said, with the like minds and the people that's, I talked to Sinetta, I don't know if y'all know about, Sinetta, but I ain't trying to get nobody free promotion. But
Yeah, please, just for other people, please be careful with people you name drop, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But I was on his show talking about it or whatever like that, and he was basically saying about his grind just on the streets back in the days with the CDs and DVDs, and you know how people, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going for, because everything is like what you call from the ground up. You dig what I'm saying? So, I see that. I was with y'all when y'all were like real low, but now I see y'all got big numbers, and I'm like, damn, how do y'all get the word out?
I'll be honest with
I
you.
see it on recommendation.
I'll be real with you. It's witchcraft.
Nah.
It's all witchcraft. I'm messing
Now
with
that's
you.
that Scorpio shit, man.
I'm messing
You
with
just
you.
gotta be honest with the people. Look, our numbers.
But man, y'all, congratulations, man. Happy New Year, man. More success to y'all and stuff like that. But yeah, I just want to know, because I think this is the new hustle, man. YouTube, and you say get off of YouTube. What's the alternative to YouTube? Because I don't really know.
We have to keep confidential until it happens. But it's not about
Oh,
jumping
okay.
on. Yeah, because it's not about jumping on somebody else's stuff. It's completely trying to do something. That's all.
Yeah, of course. If they make a black YouTube or something, whatever. Because listen, the world we going in, it's gonna separate. You see what I'm saying? I see it. People separating. Every group, every nationality, everybody getting onto their own. So when that comes, that's more blessings for us. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't. All that troll shit, that shit getting old too. I see that y'all don't really have trolls in y'all chat rooms and shit like that. And I can respect that, because y'all got like-minded people. That's why I asked y'all for advice like that, because I'm trying to figure out how do y'all get all these people to come to y'all shit. Like, what's the formula, you know what I mean?
Being real, being honest, because we competing against people who pay for subscribers. They do other shit, but we just be real. We do what we do, and we be honest with people. And
That's real, man.
And also, even when they disagree, because some people may get mad at us for a month, not watch us for 2 months, but they come back and they have an opportunity to call in. Why are you mad? What did you disagree with? And that's another thing that works as well.
Y'all should get an award, man. Have y'all ever got an award from YouTube and shit like that?
Don't want one, don't need one. We're about something bigger.
Yeah, man.
Well, from the people.
Oh.
Well, y'all gonna get an award from Dark Skin Drake, man. Just come tune into my shit, man. And you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure that happen.
All right, Dark Skin Drake, man. It's all love, man. We always see you in the chat, player. You take care.
Caller, name and where you're from.
Yo. My bad. It's Verbal Ascension from St. Louis. How y'all doing?
Oh, good. Verbal Ascension, man. We appreciate you so much, man. You starting off like old Toothpick Diddy. Yo, bad boy. Let's go, man. What we got going on?
Right. You got to keep that. Just got to put things in a proper context. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm just getting off my little route or whatever, headed to the crib. But listen, what I'm seeing in this whole, I just been catching all y'all quick videos. I try to stay on the Patreon. It's not possible at some time. But what I'm seeing through, listening to you all and hearing you all express y'all views, but then sometimes you got views like, well, shit, let's say the thing with 50 Cent. I started a video saying 50 Cent was a gay nigga, tripping off how many people gravitated toward the nonsense, which before you look at your analytics, just being human, you guys seem to be well versed in what you speak of. You didn't have to do that to see, but you did it as a marker. Saying, I don't know, I mean, this is my personal opinion, educated, highly opinionated black woman, but you come off as a feminist at times. But you gotta be pro women. You see what I'm saying? I mean, real talk, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, but at the same time, I say all that to say, and I love what she be saying, Barry, because she said like AZ, like Barry,
real quick, let me tell
AZ
you.
can't say B's or R's, but anyway.
Wait, real quick. Let me tell you why I can't be a feminist, because I don't like white people, so I can't be a feminist. But go ahead.
But look, I'm not judging. I faithfully listen. I've called in. We've had extensive conversations, but I fuck with the energy. But this is one thing that the world is failing to realize, and I think people do not put in perspective properly. We are encouraged to be together, though we should be separatists. The world is broken up by categories. That's God's plan. Yes, we are human, but we have humans, we have animals, mammals, whatever. We got men, women, black, white, Latino, Asian. The better, it's kind of like having addiction. If you can identify that you have an addiction, you can better deal with it. You can't run around here like, oh man, I can't greet sin at what the functions that you all go to. I can't greet sin the same way I greet Prince. That's improper. You understand what I'm saying? And I say all that to say the problem, they're preaching this energy for us all to be together, but we need to recognize that the world recognizes every other culture, race, whatever, recognizes the separative energy. If you, Chris Rock, you sitting there while he's saying that and nigga, like you said, I'm not even gonna go, okay, well he just roast back. Listen, you can roast back, but you have to understand, like you said, they putting in columns that the energy that he had was wrong, even though all them people are not Negroes sitting around saying nigga. We have to understand, even with the young man, Charsky and Drake, not knowing the data, not knowing the history, not being well versed. That's why I like Thought Crimes. It inspires me to do something similar, because even if people don't read, i.e. Kanye's stupid ass, if you listen to y'all conversations, they make sense and you educate. You follow it up with data. You follow it up with, hey, go here, listen to this, check this one out, read this book. That's why I like the other places that I've named when I call. But we have to start recognizing that we have to be our own team. That's the point blank. Like, they gonna roast you for whatever you do. You have to learn to stand with us, men, women of a hue, because the rest of the world recognizes us as that.
You know
you
what?
See what I'm saying?
Real quick, the reason why I rock what you stated 100%, which is why. See, let me tell you something, man. Like, I grew up in Georgia, right? Raised in Atlanta, Georgia.
Right.
I also, grew up in other parts around there. We talking about Augusta, Columbus, Smyrna. Like, we go deep south with it, right? And I remember being on my big wheel in Macon, and I was outside, and they had a Klansman march when I was like, 7? And it was like 50 of them bitches. You know what I'm saying? That was the first time I seen some shit, because I used to see the shit on TV when I saw stories about Medgar Evers and stuff. But there they were, and the police was marching with them. You know what I'm saying? And I saw for what it was. And when you in the South, you get racism right in your face. It ain't like the liberal type of stuff that's just passive. It's like it's right in your face. I got my shotgun, get off my property, or we gonna have ourselves a barbecue today when they catch you by yourself. All of that type of stuff.
But also, you should mention too, Prince, that the South is actually more resistant if people look at it with the opportunities black people have as a numbers wise, because Boston is actually listed as the most racist city where black people can't get in to any jobs or nothing.
But if
And
you
that's
didn't
liberal.
listen to Thought Crime and you didn't pick up a book or read articles, you would not know that. I just want to make 2 points.
All right, real quick before you continue, all I was going to say is, to Sin's point, real quick, I'm going to let you do your thing. And what we're saying here, because that's why sometimes in the South, black folks are quicker to try to check racism. Like, it's just so overt with it. You know what I'm saying? Or they're concerned about having their community hubs, whether they're in these black cities in the South, since the majority of the blacks reside in the South. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they got colorism issues. They got all the other stuff on the same time. They got other stuff they're proud about, too. That's why, they're so proud about the HBCUs, and you got the big marching bands and all of that type of shit. The whole point is this, is what I will agree with you 100% on. We have to be comfortable with really being black, because as you stated, everybody's comfortable with the separatist ideology in the sense of, I'm a white guy. I like Ice Cube's music, but he said what he said, but fuck him. But right. But with us, it's the thing about what Chris Rock said. This is the blackest white guy I know, but in every negative sense of the word. You don't bestow blackness on that bleach spot. You see what I'm saying? That's my thing about it. And we got to understand it's just not the same, bro. It's like, well, why are we doing that? Why are you blessing
You know what I'm saying? Look, seeing laughs is feminine energy. Anyway, the point I was going to make, like I sat and tried to chop it up with my mom. Right. I said, sometimes I go by there and rap with her, you know what I'm saying? And I just like her perspective. And I like her older, I like her older perspective, but I like giving her little points that just really is like oil and water. I leave a jewel with my mama to where the next time I talk to her, she sit back, be ready, like, what is this nigga gonna say? Because she used to that ideology. When I was young, man, and I remember, President Bill Clinton, I remember when they were saying, he the blackest president, he had oral sex, cheating on his wife, smoking weed. This is the thing, though, y'all. They haven't programmed us that much that when I was young, like, I knew that was wrong. I knew that was wrong. Like, I knew that shit was wrong. Like, I was looking like, I would never fucking call this cracker a fucking, like, that's so derogatory. You see what I'm saying? The same situation with Cam Newton, with the lady saying, just the point he was laughing because a woman was interested in routes. He wasn't saying, "Oh man, that's messed up." You know that. He was like, "It's kind of wild." Well, you know what I'm saying? A lady straight talking about.
Well, I think he actually knew that girl was actually doing some racist shit behind the scenes, because she actually did. They found out that she said some racist shit, so he could have been just saying that to try to get back at her. It probably wasn't even about the whole woman thing, and I do think people should have did some more research before they went in on him, because once you found out she was saying this racist shit, even in some of her articles, it could have been more about her as an individual, and that's why he, said what he said in sarcasm.
Right, but this is the point that I'm getting at. With him and RG3, when they said something to RG3, all this correlates. When they said something to RG3 about, as a rookie, blah, 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 we see the potential and you've done this, and that hadn't been done since so-and-so, or, just by being a black quarterback. And he quickly corrected, you know what? I'm not trying to be the best black quarterback. I'm trying to be the best quarterback. Cam Newton said something similar, y'all. I really don't want to waste your time going through all the motions. But what we have to recognize in those two moments is you stand out because you black. Mm-hmm. They recognize what draws you to them, but separates you from them. Mm-hmm. And that's what everybody forgets. Our lives are categorized, whether we like it or not. It's going to be woman energy coming from a woman. It's going to be masculine energy coming from a man. Period. Like, if you recognize that, then you can better, I'm sorry, you're stupid. You can better assess the situation. If you in the hood, here in St. Louis, you in the city, you got dope and guns, you better run. But if you get pulled over for your tags to be bad in St. Louis City, they don't give a fuck about that. They worried about your registration. Out here in West County where I live, if your registration ain't right, your tint is too whatever, and they got to do their quota, you better stay off Kerrsville. You better, you see what I'm saying? They not necessarily pulling you over looking for dope and guns. They want to make sure your registration is right. In the city, they looking for dope and guns. You got to understand, that's why people in St. Louis City don't like to come to the county. I ain't coming to the county. My place ain't right. Because they recognize the difference. They're right around in the car they bought with their taxes later in the summer with the same tip tag flagging, waving in the wind. In the city all day, but ask them to go to motherfucking Chesterfield. It's off the highway. I ain't doing that because they understand what is demanded here versus there. You see what I'm saying? When we start to look at it like that, and we will stop getting so many nigga wake up calls. But listen, we have to understand we're all one big nigga. Period. I don't give a fuck where I stay, what I got. We one big nigga. So until everybody understand that, everybody gonna have a difference of opinion. But when you do the research and you do the data, you still are recognized as a group of the one big nigga. Period. I'll let y'all go. Yeah. I'm finna walk in the house. Right on. I'm gonna keep listening.
There you go, man. Appreciate you so much. Yeah. To everything that he was saying in jest here is that you can't hide the hair on your head, that nose on your face, them lips on your face, that swag in your walk. You cannot hide that black skin, that dark black skin. You can't hide that mixed skin. Some of the mixed biracial folks be trying to do that shit. You can't hide that light skin. If you are a light-skinned Negro, you cannot hide these phenotypes. And it does look hella goofy when certain black folks are trying to talk their phenotypes into invisibility mode on some Wonder Woman shit. All right, they trying to turn their skin into the invisible jet. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter. So, in that moment, Chris Rock could not be more invisible. So definitely appreciate all of the shouts outs. We appreciate all the love. Shouts out to the big homie, Open Mind. Somebody else donated. Did we give them their Pimp C shout out, by the way?
Let's double check.
Yeah.
Lacey.
Shit. Damn, we got a call.
Lacey, man. Well, we appreciate it.
You got to call them out. Give them their Pimp C shout out.
Give her a Pimp C right now, man. We appreciate that support.
Support us. Financial backers and the crackers. Know what I'm talking about?
Should we stay on longer? Do y'all want us to stay on longer?
Yeah, we'll take a vote right now.
Are y'all ready to bed? Go to bed. Let us know. And remember, on Sunday, we have a stream exclusively on Patreon and our Thought Crimes website.
There you go.
www.thoughtcrimesworld.com. And also, we will figure out how to get the app going again for Thought Crimes World. And eventually, we're going to have a secondary site up. But Thought Crimes World, www.thoughtcrimesworld.com. And then also on our Patreon with our Crowdcast, that's Thought Crime. Sign up. You can even sign up with just $1.
There you go. Facts on that one. Facts on facts. Looks like all the people are saying stay. They said stay.
Your little brother King Hebrew say no.
That's why I rock with King Hebrew. He be concerned for our health. Did you guys go to sleep? Yeah, look at that. Everybody's saying, yeah. What's today? Today's what? Friday? Saturday?
Well, yeah. And our
Sunday. Today's
it's Sunday now.
Sunday
Damn,
now.
it's
Some of
already
y'all
Sunday.
got to go to church to
Sunday at 6
get
o'clock p.m. evening time is our other live stream.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you so much, man, with everyone, man. So some of y'all had to get mentally and spiritually colonized today. Some of y'all folks going to drag you out of church. To that white church. Nah, I'm joking.
Oh, I remember when somebody tried to drag me to church. I laughed and went back to sleep.
What you was at the Kingdom Hall?
No, it wasn't that. I stopped with that. That stopped already. But
is the Kingdom Hall considered a church? Because I'm not a Jehovah's Witness.
No, but they are considered Christians though.
They're considered Christians.
A different type of Christian. Anybody who believes in Jesus Christ is considered a Christian.
What about the Seventh-day Adventist people? Because when I was younger, I thought they were the same person.
Do they believe in Jesus Christ?
It was a Seventh-day Adventist. I said, y'all just made that up.
But to get back into it, people are going to always have different views. You're going to have men who lean towards a viewpoint or perspective that is leaning towards men. And you're going to have women that do the same. Mm-hmm. For me, I understand the stats that women that are pertaining to women. I understand that I'm a woman myself. And then, two, I'm going to have to stick up for certain things when people are not well read. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. If you can understand structural issues pertaining to people being blocked or the attempt of people being blocked from their greatness based off of of things like skin color, then you understand that for black women based off of gender as well. And then also is more, I like to get into the nuances of things as well. A lot of people don't understand behavior, cultural behaviors, and how certain things are created. So it's like when people tell me men dominate the world of cuisine, right? If you go into that world, most chefs are men. Most chefs are men. Now, some will look at that data and they will say, well, that means men are just better chefs. That's why I like to look under the hood of things. Well, okay, let's look under the hood. Most of those chefs who are male got their cooking skills from their mothers. So most of the cuisines, the recipes they have is
I don't know
from...
what you're talking about, Sin. I disagree. I got my cooking skills from Young Jeezy. Continue.
Most of these chefs that are mostly men, they get their skills and their recipes from their mom, right? Most of them. Not saying all, but the overwhelming majority of them do, right? So they have their recipes from their mothers and their recipes from their grandmother. No one can never answer why are men dominant in chef and being chefs, but why didn't their grandmother or their mother ever go into that occupation? They have the skill set. That's where most of the male chefs get it from. So why aren't there more women who are chefs? That's something that people should figure out. But this is what I always get at when people answer those questions, they be like, well, women aren't as skillful. Well, that's false, because most of the male chefs got their skills from their mothers and their recipes. So what is another option? Well, some people say, well, maybe because it's more of a social thing. Maybe because women want to have families or something. That's a possibility. That's something that I'm open to. But when people their first dissertation is because women aren't as skillful as a guy in certain things where the data shows that's obviously false, then I have a problem.
What I will say is this, and I definitely agree with you stating. And look, like, Sin is a black woman. You know what I'm saying? Some cats gonna have to get over that. It's the weirdest thing I've seen. You know, Sin does her thing. She has the information. Very intelligent sister. You know what I'm saying? A beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying? I know that for a fact. So she stands on a square. She ain't no punk ass. You know what I'm saying? She be challenging a lot of things, and she stands a square. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what she does. Your black woman got her own thoughts, her own opinions. That's why a lot of the brothers and sisters love her. When she comes here, when she does what she does, she will always shine. But no, she is not a feminist. You know, that's why we both laugh. That could be the furthest thing from the truth. She's a black woman. You know what I'm saying? And she understands what black women go through. She's a black woman. She sees these things every day. I understand it when I'm watching her.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because a feminist, just to give them it's for all women empowerment. I want black women to be empowered, but these negotiations have to be made as black people having collective power and black women having their businesses and everything within black culture, within black people, not going over with white women or Asian women or whoever to try to make that happen. I just don't, even strategy wise, it's not a smart move.
And feminists don't care. The feminists were saying Emmett Till raped them, so I don't really care.
The feminist movement started with white women.
I keep it a buck.
Who were racist, yeah.
Sin laughed when we first met because we had these conversations. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. You know, she's like, well, I want to know where your mind is and stuff. I was like, look, don't no real nigga know a feminist with them Super Bowl haircuts. All right.
There are a few black women on college campuses that call themselves that, though.
And then most of them niggas aren't there. Like, if the niggas were really there and they knew them, then they would be doing their studies right now. Don't you got midterms, nigga? You know what I'm saying? So most of the people I knew did not know feminists. You may have known some angry black women. You know what I'm saying? But there's a difference. And even if you want to get in them spaces, them sisters don't rock with them white feminists or them white women that be wearing that feminism cloth like that, because y'all saw what they did. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing that Ida B. Wells was going through with the white feminists when they wanted her to come on as a woman, but then they were saying, ooh, don't bring Frederick Douglass because he's a scary black nigger. You see what I'm saying?
And they didn't want to scare the women in the South.
And that energy hasn't changed. So, no, sisters ain't rocking like that, bro. Come on, man.
And I've tried to say, of course, there's always differences. I mean, black people are the originators of this planet. Homo sapiens, they're the originators of that. Everybody else come off of our tree. But there are always going to be differences. But what I do always want people to do is always do research. I don't like this. This is what I consider a stupid question. I know some people are getting mad, but when they say, why aren't this amount of people in this particular field? Or why is this particular field dominated by men and dominated by, or not by women? Now, if it's something in the physical, like if we're talking about MMA and stuff like that, then that's already a given. But I'm talking about based off of intellect. I'm not talking about based off of physicality, because most men are stronger than women ratio-wise. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about intelligence, right? I don't like when people try to ask stupid questions about why aren't certain people in certain fields based off intelligence, because you have a whole history book that tells you why. And then you have history that tells you that something based off of intellect can start with one group, and then based off of policy, based off of certain things, wars, based off of integration, based off of a lot of different things, that can eventually become dominated by a different group. So you can, for example, basketball, the NBA started with Italian Jews. That's a sport they created.
You said the J word.
Yeah, that's a sport they created, a sport that they used to be, you see them all the time in. Then eventually it became a black-dominated sport, in particular, a black male-dominated sport, right? So it's like people have to understand cultural transfusion.
Cultural diffusion.
Diffusion as well. They have to understand that you can't ask silly questions as simple as, this person, black people aren't in the field of science, even though there are a lot of black people who love science and have studied these fields. Why aren't they in these companies like Google and stuff? Well, because
it's shut out.
Most people are going to have a bias towards their own group, and they're going to hire the people they know. Most white people know other white people. That's why Google is majority white, not because black people don't have the capacity to do those jobs, or black women, because they're women, they don't have the capacity to do those jobs. It's based off of culture, politics, policies. There's a lot of things that are involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I was looking at recently, y'all know that trash graffiti artist named Banksy that all of those white liberals from the East Coast and the West Coast enjoy. Banksy, Gwyneth Paltrow was on his dick. A lot, some nigga celebrities too as well was on Banksy's dick. I think he's a trash artist, and I'm telling you, as an artist who can do portraits, landscapes, all of that, including digital art, I think he's a trash artist. But recently, now they're protecting his work on the side of the walls. Did you see the shit, Sincere? Now they're putting plastic coverings over his art on the side of the buildings, right? When they've been voting to try to get like the Biggie mural removed when the white gentrifiers move into these black neighborhoods, particularly like places like Brooklyn and shit like that. But with his work, they want to protect it.
If his work ever ended up in a predominantly black neighborhood, I would paint over it.
I would paint over it. I would literally park the car and get out and paint over it.
His shit is all right, but I've seen better.
I think he's a trash artist. I think he's overrated.
I'll paint right over that shit.
Look at them. They spend. Somebody put money together to put that plastic over that trash ass art. You know what I'm saying? That shit garbage. That nigga be. Well, excuse me. He's not a black person, but that motherfucker be having bunnies showing up on the side of people's houses, and people come out. Oh, Banksy painted the side of my house. Oh, this is so pleasant. It's the craziest thing.
and then also, just to go into the IQ thing, real quick, Tess, because
what IQ thing? Where are we going?
Somebody brought it up. Another thing that historically people should pay attention to. Even the basis of civilization came out of Africa. They were also competing against other humanoids. Homo sapiens directly come out of the African black branch. They were the ones that had the highest IQ compared to the other ones, which have died off. So if you're trying to say that black people have a lower IQ than other groups of people, you're surely mistaken.
Well, I will say this, fuck the intelligent quotient, because it originated out of eugenics. So it's a framework to enforce eugenics, particularly the eugenics against black individuals. So that's why they're referring to black people as inbred savages, and also they claim they backed it up with pseudo-white science. Remember, they had a lot of quackery back then. So that's what the intelligent quotients, and ideally they said that there's no real litmus test to base that on. So it's bullshit.
It's a weird thing. How are you going to say a group of people that culture is dominant in Europe, in Asia, and other places around the world have low IQ, when you obviously see what the Moors brought to Europe? So how can it doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't even compute when you have music, cuisine, science. Like,
it's like I had a partner. On. He was like, "Yo, my IQ, I tested it's high, Prince." I said, "Why are you broke?" The fuck you talking about? Like your woman want to hear that shit. I have a smart. She about to go fuck a dumb rich nigga. Then that's what a nigga. At least if he's slow, he a hustler though. You know, that shit don't apply to anything. You know what I'm saying? That's for people to stay in safe spaces and jerk off. What's your IQ? 180? Mine's 140. 140.
Like, people, and don't get me wrong, I believe people should read. And I know some people will be like, well, it's sincere. You just was making fun of Kanye because he doesn't read. Let me put it this way. I'm just saying that because he doesn't research on politics, Kanye West is silly. But we also do have to remember at one time, people did not hold literature up to the highest standard of knowledge and of intelligence. You know, people praise Socrates, for example, because he never written anything. He didn't have to write anything down, and he was able to remember so much.
He was able to remember the shit he stole out of Africa.
But here's the flip side. I mean, and also that's something that people praise LeBron James for, his fact that his
recall rate is extremely high.
It's extremely high. He's very intelligent. But, you know, when they talk about, because there were also written languages, of course, in the continent of Africa. We see that come out of the Moors and also East Africa and certain parts even in West Africa. But you notice the hypocrisy when they tried to claim Socrates is the beacon of intelligence. Because he was able to remember all this stuff, even though he, you know, again, it predates, you know, written languages.
Socrates was fucking pigs for a hobby.
But they try to say that certain kingdoms in West Africa, some of the proto ones, lacked intelligence because they didn't have a written language. That was interesting.
It's bullshit because the written language starts in Africa.
Absolutely.
It starts in Africa. In fact, writing on paper, papyrus started in Africa. If we're talking about Timbuktu, we're talking about Africa. If we're talking about the first university, started in Africa. Castles originated in Africa. People like to give those fat white kings that were fucking their little daughters in those castles in Europe the credit, but that comes out of Africa. Many of the early onsets of Greek culture, which Europeans praise as the height of literacy and literate and civilized culture, when we know the Romans and the Greeks were far from it. The origins of Greece starts in Africa. Their gods start out of Africa. All of that shit starts out of Africa.
And another thing that's also very important, there's some kids who don't know shit about history, but they're very good at mathematics. I'll give you an example. Someone tried to say, because one of the tests I did about just knowing things about the world, the globe, you know, the presidents, different things like that. So they're like, oh, okay, so you rate very high here. Now, here's the thing. Of course, that knowledge is very important because it definitely brings more breadth to a conversation when you know a lot of things about different cultures, your own culture, of course, as well, and various topics. But that doesn't mean that somebody overall is stupid. Like, for example, Kanye West is a genius when it comes to music and it comes to creativity. He's very intelligent there. Now, I also wanted to remind people that sometimes people are dumb by choice. Kanye West doesn't know politics because Kanye West has a mental issue, number one. And two, he does not want to take the time to really be astute in that and study. There are people who are geniuses in when it comes to mathematics. They do not care to read about history. So we all have to keep these things on mind. And then you have the, you know, the ones that are on God status, mathematics, music, all that. Those are the top of society for those people. But majority of people, even the ones who are very, very intelligent, sometimes they choose to be stupid on purpose in other regards because they don't, they're not either into it or they feel like it's a waste of time,
It's just where their interests are. You know, I think to simply put it, it's not really anything hard to figure out with Kanye West. I think people over intellectualize his position, his mental capability at this point because he's Kanye West. He's a celebrity, has a very intriguing background, has an intriguing personality. Whether you love him or hate him, people are interested. Even when they want to roast him, they're interested in what he did before they roast him. I think Kanye West is a case of the classic tragic genius. That's it. It's nothing more. You have a lot of tragic geniuses throughout history, and we have a lot of non-tragic geniuses that we don't speak about as much because the drama isn't there, where it is with a Michael Jackson, a Kanye West, a Whitney Houston. You see what I'm saying? So, again, I think that's the only reason why, for the most part, Kanye West stays mentioned. He's always seeking attention. But even how we use the word genius, it's rarely applied to a woman. I mean, that's why you have women saying what they're saying. Like, when was the last time you heard somebody call a woman a genius?
I think Janelle Monáe is a genius too.
So for me, it's really a gender-neutral term, but how we apply it and what it is evoked when we speak about genius or geniusness, people automatically shift to masculinity, and that's not the case. Again, to understand the full nuances of genius, you have to accept that everybody has that opportunity and the capability of being a genius. And when it is showcased, acknowledge it. Don't play dumb. But as far as Kanye West, I just think he's a classic tragic genius.
Well, and he's a prisoner to his time.
Yeah.
Because he is someone who was actually artistically gifted across the board. Fine arts, all that. I saw his old paintings and sketches.
Yeah.
If Kanye West was born... Well, I don't know. If he was born during slavery, they would have took his shit. Okay, but if he, let's say even pre-slavery, if he was born pre-slavery, all of his artistic expressions would have been, he would have had time to explore all of it, and he would actually be even more captivating than what he is right now in that world.
Because you have to factor in capitalism does affect genius.
It does. And people also forgot that divergent thinking is also affected in this period of time. Remember, people even get mad at Gen Zers. You can have Gen Zers, of course, who are naturally gifted at things, but they're going to always gravitate completely towards technology because this is the culture that they're born in. No longer are you going to see people who just is complete silence. They're not distracted by things. They're going to completely hone in their craft and music like Prince did. They're going to completely hone down their craft and this, that, and the third. No, the technical age has its pros and cons. It will always have its pros and cons. And when it comes to the creative aspects, even though, of course, everybody should keep up to date with new ways of thinking and new ways of approaching things, something will always die
Absolutely.
in response of that.
Also, Black Peace, you stayed here. Shouts out to you, player. He says the hip-hop culture bar is low. He uses capital letters for low, L-O-W. Well, I will say this, Black Peace. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I will say this. I would say, again, in the space of hyper-capitalism, hyper-materialism, and extreme cases of exploitation, and the exploited, impoverished class, particularly a lot of these young black males coming out of these impoverished areas, and also these sisters, young sisters as well, they're getting raped financially and physically in many cases. I think what we're seeing in that space, the requirement is low. But actually, hip-hop, even on a cerebral level, when we're talking about the form of literacy, is actually has one of the more expressive languages. So, I mean, you can get a Rakim, you can get a Lauryn Hill. Imagine reading Lauryn Hill's lyric diary while she was recording Miseducation. That's some of the most powerful poetry right there. That is the hip-hop culture right there. I think when we're talking about in the spaces of the Sonys and the Columbias, much like everything else that these corporations poison, the bar becomes very low because the whole point of is exploitation for capitalism. So that's why it appears to be low. But if you actually look at the hip-hop culture in its totality, whether we're talking about independent artists, cats that are making their move, I mean, we got the likes of Mick Jenkins, we have Ting, Dreezy, a lot of these dope artists. No, the bar is actually extremely high.
And you got to remember, again, people are prisoners to their time. Lauryn Hill's a triple threat. Sing, act, and rap. You know, Kanye West as well. When it in artistic expression, fine artist, sketcher. He could have even went into animation, music, and fashion.
Well, he messed around with animation before, yeah.
And I would say black people, there are more black people who are triple threats than other groups of people. I mean, if you go back to the jazz era where people, again, remember, a lot of people, gifts are being, it's more distraction in this world than any time before. So that's why you will see a decline in Kanye like you see now and stuff. But you go back in the past to the 30s, the 40s, the 20s, especially during the jazz era, you had people who were rapping. You had people who were at their highest apex and being a musician, and their acting, especially in black space. The reason why it seemingly is a decline in that because people will tell you the hyper-capitalism and the distraction. So you have somebody, and I know people think Jacquez is corny, but I'm just going to give you an example. He could sing and he could rap. He could possibly...
He's very short.
And
he's very short.
He could possibly do something else too. If he wasn't born in this time, if he was born in like 20s, what you see would be amplified much better than what you see right now. Is what I'm putting at. It's going to be very hard for Prince to come out of this generation because of the distraction and because of hyper-capitalism.
Yeah, you know, and he says here, Black Peace, he says, I disagree, Prince, and I will tell you why. We don't control the business end of hip-hop, and no one is stopping us except us. I disagree. You know, look, for example, Black Peace, when we had Irv Gotti, Jay Prince, and Suge Knight make an attempt to create the first distribution forum coming out of hip-hop, but they wanted to expand it to music in general, especially R&B, the Feds shut them down. We saw what Master P was trying to do. Master P had similar situations. The Feds didn't necessarily shut him down, but he did try to link with other powerful businessmen and women behind the scenes in music, and he got shut down as well. We saw that with the likes of what MC Hammer was going through as well. And we see it now. Even we have some of our mavericks and our business rogue agents that has divergent thinking when it comes to economics and ownership in hip-hop music and R&B, and they routinely, an establishment, a crony capitalistic establishment will get in their way, and they're still trying. So they haven't given up. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but also if you're feeling a lack of creativity, it's because what has really happened, if you're bringing up, because in your later comment you bring up, you said it was you felt more creativity with Lauryn Hill at the time. Well, to be honest with you, that's because the corporations, as big as they were then, they didn't have as much control as they do now.
They're rushing you even more.
Yeah,
Get that album out now.
Yeah, it's weird. We have a lot of independent content creators, but their issue is distribution, which has always been the case, which is why Jay Prince and Irv Gotti and Suge Knight were attempting to change that. Distribution has always been the issue, but now we have more platforms, we have more corporations that have a stronger tight grip and fist hold on the way and the means of distribution. So that's why things are seeming like it's coming out the same way. We go from Tekashi to Blueface. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you feel that way, but it's not necessarily like, oh, like black people just give up. Right now, at this very moment, you have black men and women in the mainstream business end of mainstream, hip hop and R&B that are still trying to make things happen silently behind the scenes. But you got to understand, as long as you have a corporate crony capitalistic industrial complex overlapped with the Fed boys. Remember now, Irv Gotti and them, they ran into their trouble. All three of their offices got hit within the same week. That is what's going to take place.
And the other thing is rushing because of the lower attention span due to the progression of technology. And I'm not saying that technology shouldn't progress, but, it's just, again,
it's a hyperbolic system.
Pros and cons.
All
right?
the time.
Everything's going to be pros and cons. So people are being forced to rush to put out content. How are you going to get a Prince when you're rushing people to put out shit? Where every year you got to put out something. And not only you got to put out something to keep your fans, but you got to put out something to go with your business. I'm putting out this. Not really because I'm really fucking with this album, because I have something to sell outside of the album like a sneaker or a movie or this or that. You're not going to get what you want from the past because
It don't exist.
people cannot pace themselves and take their time anymore. B, hyper capitalism. C, for some people, is not ownership. The artists don't own, so the artists have to keep putting out. And then you're gonna have to also be competing with machines.
Perfect example. Let's look at this. Lil Wayne did the mixtape run, the legendary mixtape run that he did because he felt like it. He had time to do it. He felt like it. Between Stuntin' Like My Daddy and Carter 2, I believe, he was on an incredible mixtape run. He felt like it. He recorded all that music and damn near gave it away, to be honest with you, because a lot of that shit Lil Wayne was giving away. Now, look at somebody like Future. When he was on his run, Future did what he did because he had to. Now, Tupac recorded like a maniac. I mean, his recording, his studio sessions are legendary and fucked up in many regards too, if you read the background stories of what went on with Death Row Records. But nevertheless, his studio session, his output rate, doing 3 to 5 songs a day, but having the ability to sit on those songs, even though he died with, I believe, like less than $200,000 in his bank account, because as per usual, the record industry was cheating a lot of those black artists. But nevertheless, again, his output rate was ridiculous. 3 to 5 songs a day. What did he do? He recorded Machiavelli in a week, or he recorded, no, it was All Eyes on Me. He recorded it like in a week or 2 weeks or something crazy like that. But still, he didn't have to put it out at a crazy rate. Now you fast forward now, look at the artists like Trippie Redd. Look at the artists like Future. Look at Young Thug. Like, they had to keep putting music out there. And to be honest with you, their recoup rate is not the same. A lot of these guys are dropping all of these mixtapes. You really think they have the ability to pay for all of these beats? You think they really had the ability to pay for all of these studio sessions? You have people in the industry taking their advance money and running off with it because they know that, look, man, I'm not going to be able to recoup this $500,000 advance, this $200,000 advance. Man, they expected me to go platinum. I mean, look at Playboy Cardi. You know, he put out his jam. He had some singles. He had 1 or 2 of them. You don't really hear much from him. What's his name talked about this? Denzel Curry. I like a lot of his music, but he talked about the struggles of what he's having to deal with right now. And people keep focusing on the streaming thing. People hear 1 billion streams, 300,000 streams. When you go up under the hood, the artists are not being compensated for that. You know what I'm saying? You know, your song does a 30-second spin, you get 7 cents back. You see what I'm saying? That's why at the time, a lot of artists that were coming out of Houston, Texas, like, I remember having conversations with my homeboys. It was right around when Lil Flip dropped his Leprechaun studio album and T.I. dropped trap music, right? And I think Flip pointed it out. He says, well, you're laughing at me, Tip. Nigga, you getting like $6 per album sale. I'm getting $12, and I'm independent. And a lot of people at the time, they didn't understand it because Tip had the Atlantic machine behind him, just like Cardi B does now. Tip had that Atlantic machine behind him, so he looked bigger to everyone else, but Flip was at the time raking in more money. You see what I'm saying?
Also, I agree with Magnetic as well, too, going back to your point, Fritz, that that's what we're saying about ownership. If you partner up and you're in a partner position and you own your music, of course you're going to still make money.
Yeah, and that's the whole point about it is when you look at all of this, to be honest with you, a lot of this shit, too, is just for show. Because what you see, like when you look at somebody, y'all, let's keep it real, man. You look at somebody on Instagram, or like my partner say, Instagram. Man, you look at somebody on Instagram, right? They have 2 million followers, but every time they do a post, they have 300 likes. You have 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, but your videos are maxing out at 1,000 views. A lot of this stuff is for show. So if you don't believe not only that they're doing it there, what makes you think they're not doing it in the streaming space? A lot of times you hear these artists, they're getting 1 million streams. That don't mean they're getting $1 million back. You see what I'm saying? If somebody like Drake, who's been really killing it on the monetary end of it, he's had murmurings about streaming sales. And he's that big A-list artist. Rihanna talked about it. So what's going on with the little cats? If that's the big fish, what's going on with the little cats? So that's why we tell y'all, like, to be honest with y'all, don't get caught up in the hype. You are supposed to pursue ownership. That's what you're supposed to do. Somebody brought up David Banner. Dark skinned Drake brought up David Banner. David Banner couldn't be in a happier space right now. He's making more money than he has ever done. You know, think about it. Back when David Banner was with his Pastor Troy goatee at the time, and he was making them like a pimp cut back then, right? And doing Cadillac on 22s, right? David Banner was producing for some of the most top-tier A-list artists at his time, right? And they were running off on him. Listen to what he said. Like, a lot of those record labels weren't paying him when he was doing those big hits. He had to sue Cash Money. You see what I'm saying? So, again, yes, the space is independency. It is about finding your avenue. It is about all of that because, like, that's the whole thing with the argument with Funkmaster Flex and Damon Dash. Like, to be honest with you, Flex is happy to be a slave. He's like, I'm slave. I'm still employed. I'm still on the horse. Yeah, you know, Dame Dash, you ain't did nothing. That part, Sin and I disagreed about. You know what I'm saying?
Another thing to add to that, I agree with you, Black Peace. We do have a product. Once Prince and I strike red hot, and the audience follows us and come with us on this journey, we don't have nothing to worry about because we are actually talented. We can do a lot of stuff by ourselves.
Gifted, baby.
Illustration.
I was part of the Gifted and Talented program when I was younger.
Animation, graphic design, voiceovers. We don't really have to worry. And we have a real product. That's why I also tell people that Black people are getting hustled in that Black conscious community are just getting hustled by people who just talk.
Speaking in hyperboles.
That's the shit that is crazy to me, that you're getting hustled by people who don't even have a product or a skill.
But Sin, when they die and they get to heaven, they'll get it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, if you like to hear people talk, that's nice. That's nothing wrong with that too. If they comfort you or you feel they're touching on issues
perfectly fine
that are important to you. But I mean, if someone doesn't have a plan, you know, I don't understand to drop in that amount of money for people who don't even have a product or a skill set.
Did you pay your gas bill? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Like, I watched my mother make that mistake, and she made one last time mistake when they dropped it. She dropped some money in the church box, and the lights got cut out, and we got kicked out on the streets. And she tried to get the church to help her, and they said, "Well, why are you sleeping in the car with your children?" And from that day on, man, she did not fuck with the church. You know, it's just a hustle, man, and it's cool, man. It is what it is, but I don't advise people to put all their money behind it. My man Open Mind, you know, made a post on Instagram because, you know, man, I catch all of it, man. I caught your Instagram post, and he was basically stating that if you're telling people to quit their day job, you know, and be a financial hustler, and they can make millions overnight, you know, and you're telling them that, you know, in that space, usually you're obligated to help them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you kept checking it down their throats about it, or if you cut ties with your job and you make it on your own in your independent business, but you come around and you chastising everybody else like you dumb for having a 9-to-5, this, that, and the third, that's not right. You know, you should just count your blessings and be happy that your business is working. But what they do in that space, that conscious community space, is they don't speak in nuances. They don't live in reality. It's all theologian talk. It's no different than Pastor Hamhawk Neck. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's easy. You just do this.
You just gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? Get your hustle game on
people
up.
Who do or people who have a business and we're owners and we have a brand and we do a lot of different things. This is what I'll tell you. No, it's not easy, especially when you're Black. When
talk about it.
You have the issue of that whole white people weirdo shit. So it's like, could Prince and I work for a company, white owned, or have a white person own like 50% of what we do and get the money faster?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we could, but that will come at a price, and that price will be our content won't be what we want it to be. It'll be shifted for I guess to be more palatable to other groups of people, or whatever the case may be, whatever their vision is. That's why we don't want to do that. But I do agree with certain people who say that some black people in the conscious community that talk about business are liars. Some of them are. Now, of course, you have successful businesses like Truth Detergent. Shout out to those people. And you should definitely want there to be black businesses and black people to grow. But you also got to be honest with the journey and not lie to people and act like it's super easy. It's not easy. It's a work and progress, especially when certain people don't understand certain things. It's like Microsoft and Apple was built because there were people who came together in the basement
called the New World Order
or garage, and they were able to just focus on building whatever idea they have. Now, because of the messed up things that certain people have done business-wise, like the black conscious community, you have certain black people who are scared. And they don't understand, though, that for people who are talented, you have to come together, and there are going to be long months where nobody's getting paid. Like, nobody's getting paid because you don't have that equity yet. You don't have that income yet for everybody to get paid. Y'all all have to actually join in as business partners. If you do this, you do that, let's come together in this basement or garage or whatever, and let's put this platform or get this to go or whatever, you know. And that's the thing that people don't understand. It takes time. There has to be a level of trust, you know. And then you also have some people who are splurging and wasting their money on people who are just talking.
That's why Zora Ali took y'all money for a gas bill. That's why that happened.
You call her Zora?
Yeah, Zora Ali. That's why she did that shit. That's why Boyce Watkins taking y'all money for rent. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. I know that mole man in an apartment. You know what I'm saying? And it is bullshit. You know, it's just bullshit, bro. I'm gonna tell you something like this. Dark-skinned Drake, you said you got your thing going. Homie, it's a hustle, bro. You still gotta hustle. You know, like, we have people talking shit to us because they have this assumption, we just laying up around doing nothing.
I mean,
like,
you
bro,
see it. You
like,
see
bro,
it.
like,
we two heads on the phone. We putting in work.
That motherfucker, like, come on, who you think doing all of this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a hustle when you decide to say, you know what, you're gonna go into your independent business. It's like a partner of mine's told me. He's like, man, P, what type of stress do you want? Do you want the stress of working in a corporation and they say, yo, we're going to close down this campaign? Do you want to keep working at wherever the case is, call centers, warehouses, temp agencies, donating plasma, whatever the case is? Do you want that type of stress, or you going to be able to do your own thing, but you're still going to be stressed? It's like, what stress are you comfortable with? And to be honest with you, this is just my experience. You know what I'm saying? Me growing up. The space of us hustling, doing what we do, coming up with new ideas every day, I can deal with that stress, but it's not stress that goes like, oh man, you know, it's all peaches and cream. It's not, but it's a stress I can take and manage, because at the end of the day, I can deal with it. Sin and I, even if we have creative disagreements or whatever the case is, we can patch it up.
Oh yeah, because we're in this for the long haul.
Yeah, but with other folks, man, like dark-skinned Drake, to the Christmases, to the open minds, to the black pacers, the tree houses, you know, it's just about pushing regardless, man. And I would never tell somebody to quit their job. I would never do that shit, because I ain't got no dollar for you. I'm gonna just be honest with you. You know, I would never. No, because I would love to bring people on, but you know, you make sure you have that monetary capital up, that game up. You know what I'm saying?
Stop right there, Prince. You shouldn't be telling people to leave unless you got a position open for them to leave too.
Yeah, and that was Open Mind's point in his post, and I thought it was such a dope post. That's why I liked it. I said that does make sense. You know what I'm saying? But some of these other folks, like some of these conscious niggas, man, they're giving people all these Peter Pan things. They're trying to make them be Tinkerbell, and Tinkerbell getting her wings clipped.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? If you
too.
quit right now, get off the crackers plantation. No, you should be able to generate as much money as possible to funnel into whatever it is you need to pursue, because capital is very important.
No one should be telling you this or that or make you feel like shit because you have a job.
That's the craziest shit.
Even if you're in an area where you're trying to get out of white space and stuff like that. Because you should not be saying bullshit unless you are going to hire that person.
There you go.
So if I say, yo, Christmas, leave your job. Okay, I better have something open for her then.
I left my job. So what do we do? Oh, man, nah, man, bro. I mean, I ain't got nothing for you right. And that's what they do in that conscious community, man. I'm going to be honest with you. They be selling hope. They no different than Pastor Pork Chop. They're not. They're not no different.
Faster pork chop.
They're not different than them fat back niggas. You know what I'm saying? Up there with them suits pulling up in the Cadillacs. You know what I'm saying? I see them, you know, and we think it's a joke. So, you know, again, Zorro Ali has been cutting up for a long time. Boyce Watkins showed his ass out when we was interviewing him, but we let him shoot himself. We let him look stupid. You see what I'm saying? And they've been hustling. You know what I'm saying? They've been hustling, and they're going to continue to hustle because you have people out here hurting. They're looking for hope. They're looking for you to tell. You know what? Some of these niggas out here, they like Halle Berry and Monsters Ball. Do something to make me feel good. I want to feel good. So that's why a lot of these people are hustling them like that. You know what I'm saying? But we when y'all come to Thought Crimes, man, we ain't stupid, man. We just tell y'all what it is. But I would never tell none of y'all to quit your job unless I'm about to open up a door for you. You know, that's real talk. That's how I am. That's how sin is. We don't believe in that fairy tale shit. Nigga, you better hold on to that fucking call center job until you find something else.
And stop wasting your money on people who are just talking. Like, this is very important. You're in economic warfare. Why are you putting your money in people who are not doing anything? You don't have enough income to gamble like that. You have black people in AI. You have black people who's trying to start up animation companies who are talented. If you're going to a bet on someone, at least bet on somebody with a fucking skill that if they can just enough equity, they can build something and have the general public watch it and get money off of that. You know, but you giving your money to people with no skills. So what? I mean, like, what do you think you're gonna get out of that?
I mean, look, man, you got people out here. They say they present data, and that's fine. You know, that's their job. That's their job. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They do what they need to do. But that other shit, like, come on, that goofball shit with them, like some people be bringing some of these folks' names to us. I'm like, all right, you might as well find Rudolph. You got a better chance. But outside of that, please stop believing in these false expectations. And you got to understand this, too. Some folks believe in these motherfuckers because they lazy. Bro, you're going to have to work hard however it is. You're going to have to work hard for yourself. You're going to have to work hard for a white man. You're going to have to work hard to do whatever. Even if you laying in bed to suck dick, you got to work hard for it. You see what I'm saying? So it's just, bro, you can't shortcut the hard work in life. That's whatever you do, man. Like, I don't get this. A lot of people really man, I just don't want to do it no more. You know, it's like the whole black experience. A lot of people wish they could turn that shit off. Like, bro, you black. You got to take everything that comes with it. All right? And be proud of who you are. I believe we had one brother trying to call in. Is the program still up? Baby, is it still up?
Oh, yeah. The number is 281-899-0392. The number is 899-0392. We're going to be closing out soon, but you can call in. And
Black
again,
Lord dominance.
The number is 281-899-0392.
There is no shortcut. That's all I can say. Just simply put it. There is no shortcut. You're going to have to work. Even if you want to get off the plantation completely, in fact, you're going to have to put in more work. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is really incumbent upon you.
Yeah, like we're building a physical studio. Like we're not joking, a physical animation studio.
When Sin and I don't do anything, if we decide to be lazy, we feel it. We feel it immediately. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, because our pockets suffer if we be
lazy. So, you know,
we can't even be lazy.
Yeah, we can't even coast like, you know, people would do on the job. You know how you just be coasting for like the first 3 hours at the job or the last 2 hours. You know, no, we don't have that opportunity. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what it is. Again, there are no shortcuts. You're going to have to work.
That's what I'm just saying. Even on Patreon, just $1 that'll work for us. You know, we still give Patreon exclusive content.
And we understand.
And again, we told y'all what we are working on. Partially, we can't tell y'all the other half because, you know, people are listening to us from the industry and they still. So.
Yo, Kingdom says Joel Osteen is his hero.
Call it. Name it where you're from.
Yeah, this is brother Black Lord Dominance. I'm in the comment section. I just want to say, you know, I got a lot of powerful stuff going on. I salute both of you, both the king and both the queen. I'm from New York City. And like I said, you write about, you know, certain brothers and sisters that, you know, from NY that do talk loud with it. But I think it's just, like you said, like it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. That's all I'm saying. You know,
I know you got something against God body dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, like, but not all of them is like that from NYC. We got a lot of real ones in the NYC.
Oh, I know that.
I think Huh?
No, I know that. I know that. I'm just saying the ones that do come in the chat, because usually when dudes be getting tight for me, I'm not lying, man. They be from like 718. I don't know what it is. I know they just be aggy for some reason.
And we're talking
you know
about
what I'm saying?
the organization
Yeah,
of
that's
it
it.
too, on like social media. Those who were
Right.
considered like the leaders in that online platforms that were supposed to be talking about black consciousness and stuff, and they be doing some weirdo shit, saying weirdo shit, and not doing anything with the money.
Yeah, 'cause when we
those
got-
other people we're talking about.
Yeah, when we got to Harlem, they showed me nothing but love in Harlem. I'm gonna be honest with you. Doggy Diamonds.
Well, Brooklyn and Harlem,
Yeah.
any borough, not to
Yeah.
cut you, any
Yeah.
borough will show you that love. Trust me. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, to be honest with you, the whole Willie Lynch thing that we under is on internationally. We got African brothers and sisters in the continent doing stuff that they ain't supposed to do, which is making us look bad. We looking bad globally in the diaspora. A lot of brothers and sisters don't even get it. Like, we got to be on a universal code. Like, from the east to the west coast of the United States to the world, we all messed up as far as mentally.
Yeah, I feel you,
Like,
man.
we're not even right. To be honest with you, what Nas did, that's messed me up. When I seen that video about him defending Gwyneth Paltrow, like, yo, come on, Nas, like, you crazy? Like, you the same dude who was speaking knowledge shit back in the day, garbage shit. Now you talking about giving her a pass? You don't give no white cave, like, in the words of my brother Khalid Muhammad, we don't give no cave bitch a pass.
There you go. Yo,
Like-
real quick,
like the great Khalid Muhammad.
I'm gonna pause you real quick, homie. I don't know if you've been paying attention. Like, I've been listening to Nas's lyrics for a long time, right? When the nigga was doing Illmatic, because a partner of mine first gave me Illmatic, he was like, man, you should check this out. And so I checked it. I was like, oh, this shit is dope. You know what I'm saying? I know all of his catalog, bro. And I noticed when his messaging started changing right around Life is Good. It's right when he got linked up with that Jay-Z money.
He got compromised.
Yeah. And then
He
he said,
Diddy money too.
yeah, and he said,
that white money, that's what it was.
Yeah, and he said something like, you blame your failures on racism, white supremacy, the gays, the Jews. Like, he went through this whole thing, but it was like a pound cake speech. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. Now you spent like your whole life alluding to it, even adopting aspects of your style from cats like Killer Priest
and Dead President.
Yeah, and you talking about like, the white man, this, that, and third, but now it's like a complete flip. It's like Gwyneth Paltrow is a nigga. You see what I'm saying? And then yeah, and that's just like, that's wild. That's the wild stuff. But no, man, a lot of New York niggas got love. Doggy Diamonds got love for us, man. Shouts out to Doggy Diamonds, man. That's a good friend. You know what I'm saying?
Doggy Diamonds definitely on it. All I'm saying is that hello?
Yeah,
peace.
Yeah, it's that white Jewish money that got us messed up, because we have to really be real about this. It ain't the white supremacy thing. When we look at the origin of it, it's the white Jews that created the whole thing. We look into the science of it and look at the history. Like, when you look at books like Nation Islam put up for the secret relationship between blacks and Jews, you understand exactly what's going on. Like, it's white Jewish dudes that's in corporate America, and I know that y'all mentioned that Italian Jews. It's different type of Jews, but the whole situation is a Jewish white supremacy takeover globally. And we need to really look at that situation and see it for what it is. These worn down, hillbilly, right, rednecks that you see in parts of, like, down south or anywhere, or the Midwest, whatever it is. Those are like the low graded white supremacists. They don't even though we have to pay mind to them because they on some bullshit.
Yeah, because they do be spraying people. Yeah, they be spraying people and shit. Them retarded ones. Yeah.
But they're the low graded ones though. They're not like the real power structure, because they're the ones that's poor. So they mad because the economic situation, they can't be let in because they're white trash considered to the white elitists. The white elitists are the ones, the Jewish ones that you already know that's in the pocket of Chris Rock, which that got me upset because I seen what you showed. You got put up.
And they're mixed too, because remember when Mel Gibson said what he said about Jewish people, they forgave him, because people forget, first of all, Anglo-Saxons still do have the most power, even though they try to blame it all on the Jews, but it's a mixed sector, because people forget, what was it? Was it the 1940s when Jewish people integrated into white infrastructure? Because some of them dropped their Jewish last names and then picked it back up again once they successfully integrated in Hollywood.
The mid-1930s on.
Yeah, the mid-1930s. So, like, they're all mixed up. So you got Italian Jews, you got Anglo-Saxons, you got a mixture
Russian
of them.
Jews, all that.
All that, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what happens with them is they do things strategically. I know how they are. They real sneaky, especially I'm from I'm from NYC, but I'm from Brooklyn, that borough of NYC, and I've seen how it is in Crown Heights. So I already know what it is. Like we have a big, like, you know, I think you already know about the Crown Heights situation back in the day. It's still somewhat like that. The separation of, because it has to be like that because the way they have it, they have their own police, they have their own everything, and the way to be honest with you, nationally, it's the way they treat us, and we already know how they are. They have a dirty religion, and we need to not be a part of that. We just need to be a part of Mother Africa, and when I say Mother Africa, I mean in the sense that we need to rebuild our continent and get out the fake leaders that's in the continent that's making us look bad. We need to get them out of that position and get some real ones, and let's globally be on the code and not mess with anybody.
We need to make the
We just need to be black
universal.
folks.
All right, King,
Yeah.
man.
Definitely black folks, brother.
Definitely. Appreciate you so much, King, all the way from NY. Shouts out to the New York Kings.
We have another caller. Name and where you're from.
Yo, my name is Huey MC. I'm calling out here from Cali. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all show. You know what I'm saying? I'm always checking it out. You know, and I just popped it on YouTube. Just got in from doing my thing out here, and I was like, yeah, that whole Chris Rock thing just really bugged me out. And I'm listening to what y'all talking about, and the thing is, it's like one thing African Americans need to do, black people need to do. We could take this from the Jews. The Jews got a book called the Babylonian Talmud, and it's a cold book. It's some fucked up shit up in that book, but basically that book is a book for Jews to know how to interact with each other and to work with the wider white culture, or what they would call Gentiles. Because as a black person, I don't consider myself a Gentile because we descended from Cush. We're not descended from the line of Japheth. The Gentiles, that's the Isles of the Gentiles. Those are the Europeans. But they got this book, and it's basically a book guiding them to treat each other right, work with each other, give each other breaks, support each other. But then at the same time, it's a book telling them to be on guard against, it was written during the times when the Jews were like in Europe and Rome. There was always a minority within a larger, more powerful European nation. So it was like a guidebook. We got to make our knowledge universal as black people. That's the thing, because like we all be on different game plans. That Chris Rock shit blew me up. He bust Chris Rock ears with that shit. I'd have checked dude so hard, and he was with the hard ER, nigga.
Yeah, you saw how he looked at him. He did. You listen to what he said. Now he didn't say nigga. He said nigger.
Well, I want to see if he can
listen. Right.
Yeah, so he knew where to take it, and that's why. Look, like Sin knows me. Actually, the only white comedian that actually fool with their material is Bill Burr. I think he's a funny motherfucker. But Louis C.K. actually was always smelling something on him. And I saw too many. Sometimes I saw too many black folks stroking his freckled dick, and I was like, you got to be careful with that one right there. You got to be careful with all of them because at any point in time it can come out. But how he looked at Chris Rock, and Chris Rock kind of looked like he didn't want that to get to the public. It was almost like that's like a look. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, like I don't.
Well, I want to play the clip for people who are just coming in. I'm gonna play the clip for you real quick, and I think you'll be able to hear it on the line as well.
The depiction of black women.
Wow. No. And then all the negative things we think about black people. This fucker.
You're saying I'm a nigger.
Yes, you are the niggerest fucking white man I have ever.
Amazing. I don't think he could do that. I don't think he has those
There's
qualities.
Only two. No, you don't even understand.
Really?
You don't really know him. Like I've worked with him.
No, like you're
I wouldn't use it anywhere.
No, exactly. These two.
We say nigger on stage.
On stage.
You guys don't. That's
that's
interesting. Two teams
that's
here.
The difference between
That's right. That's right. We say
pair
nigger on
up in
stage. You
different
guys
ways,
don't.
but that's definitely a pair.
Boy,
but I'm gonna tell you why Chris Rock was uncomfortable, because he jokes with them like that behind the scenes.
That's why
they don't want you to be saying that in front of everybody.
Yeah, that's what the whole point was saying. Like he had that look. He didn't want that to get out publicly. Like, oh shit, I was
tripping off Seinfeld though. Seinfeld was like, hey, wait a minute, this motherfucker. The Jew was like, hey man, this motherfucker out of line, man.
Well,
like
you know what?
I give a fuck what Chris Rock does behind the scenes, man. He should have been checking him on that, man.
Well, the problem, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna keep it real with you on this one, man. Just because somebody's on stage ranting and flailing the words motherfucker, motherfucker, motherfucker. Don't make them real. In my hardest of hearts, one of my top 10 favorite comedians, Sinbad would have checked his ass.
Sinbad would have.
Sinbad don't even curse on stage. He would have checked that boy. He would have checked that little man, because Louis C.K. is a little man. He's a small man.
I want to clap on that.
Yeah. How dare you talk? How you talk down to me? You a small. If I'm Chris Rock, you a small man, bitch. I'm worth $300 million. You a small white boy. I ain't. You know what I'm saying? Sinbad would have checked the shit out of that ass. You know what I'm saying? You a small man. That's my thing about it. Like, it's like that. I'm like, Chris, bro, you the big man in the room. You mean he a small man? That's a small man.
He seemed more conscious than that, man. I was disappointed in him. I was like, ooh, wow. Like, for real?
It ain't no misunderstanding. Like, he needs to be educated. Chris Rock got good damn sense. He come from an era of hip hop in the East Coast where all them niggas was running around conscious and shit. You a small man. You letting this little country chicken egg white boy talk down to you. He called you a nigger like your career just started yesterday.
Oh, bro, man, I'm like, God damn. So, has he come out with anything like trying to backtrack or explain that shit yet, or has he been quiet since it done hit the media?
It happened too early. Or late, one can say. So I don't think he's gonna touch on it or see it until probably, I don't know, maybe 10 a.m. or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that's a cold Christmas, boy. That motherfucker about to have a cold Christmas dealing with the media and everything, man. But it's just our consciousness, man. It's like, and I work with a lot of white people. I've done it before, and it's hard navigating that shit, man. So it's like it's always shit you just gotta check them on, man. Especially white males. They always want to blame you for playing a race card, but them motherfuckers deal it all the time. They'll bring it up. They'll try to goad you into something, and then when you flip on it, it's your fault. So it's like I understand, like I got white friends and all that, but it's like that's a no-no, man. And like I said, with the hard ER, I was like, man, he did it with the hard ER. We call each other that all the time. Like, yeah, I'm like, come on, bro. He got to explain that. He got some explaining to do.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. We appreciate you so much all the way from the left coast, man. Keep doing your thing. How you feeling, Shane? Look like you ready to get on off over here, right?
Yeah. I really appreciate everybody. I'm gonna just leave it off in the words of the wisest rapper ever.
Who says nigger on stage?
Not this person. I'm gonna leave it off with one of the wisest people.
Get out of somebody for Gwyneth Paltrow.
Hey, then why are you saying that Gwyneth shouldn't get punched in the mouth?
She's
makes no
interrupting
sense.
us. She's in.
The right to use the word. I mean, look.
Can you pause it real quick, Shane? I got a question here. Let me tell y'all something, and a lot of niggas from New York, you got to understand this. I'm well versed in the history of hip hop. I love it. I love Nas as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's one of the worst spoken rappers outside of his music. I think he's horrible with communication. I think I always rated him low. Nas is a genius lyrically. He's brilliant. He's like Langston Hughes with that shit. He'll describe a New York where people had stick balls and Applejack hats, right?
Damn, look at the thumbs down he got.
But when that motherfucker starts speaking when it comes to socially issues, he's terrible. Remember now, Nas had nothing to say. Remember when the white liberal media asked him, why did he record a song at one time for his Nostradamus? No, it was actually for his QB album when he had a bunch of Queensbridge niggas on there, including Mobb Deep, when he had a song called Shootouts, one shoot 'em up, two kill, murder, 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 something like that. And when they asked Nas, he didn't have anything to say. I just find it interesting. He was supposed to defend his art form. He was supposed to defend his art, and he wasn't able to do it. But here comes an eyebrowless albino girl named Gwyneth Paltrow running around saying nigga, 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 and he just had, you couldn't put a period on it. He had everything to say. So I find it very interesting with him.
Difference in what you said, dumbass, is that Italians don't let people who are not Italians call them wops. That is a very important thing, Mr. Nostradamus, to actually mention it, because I know he's addicted to Scarface, mafioso shit. You must not have been watching the movies correctly, sir.
Oh, you talking about he was wearing them ugly ass pink suits?
Yep. Some people get a pass, and that's just how I'm on it. The people who I know is cool and real niggas, Gwyneth Paltrow's a real nigga. You know what I'm saying?
That's why, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That's why everybody got on him. It wasn't even the fact that he named his album Nigger, because he named it after Dick Gregory's book Nigger, which is an excellent book. You all should read it. But it was the fact that when Nas went on his album media run tour, he couldn't articulate himself. Because I was in support for him naming the album Nigger. I just want to see what angle he was coming from with it, right? Like, are you going to make like this? Man, let me slow down. Sin, I know we got to get off here, baby, but let me just add a little bit more here. I'm not going to hold us, all right?
No, go ahead. Take your time.
Here's my thing about it. Nas named the album Nigger. When they were asking him on certain platforms, what do you mean by it? He started giving all of this vague description. He sounded incoherent. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if that was the time he was beating Khaleesi's ass. I don't know what was going on with Nas.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. Right?
Allegedly.
But see, this is what I'm saying. And that's why I implore niggas to listen to lyrics. Listen to lyrics. Nas was telling you who he was on the Life is Good album when he said you blamed this person, that group for what is taking place. Remember now, Nas is a child of hip-hop as well, so he looks up to the Ice Cubes. He looks up to the Scarfaces in hip-hop, right? He had a song on Street's Disciple. I like the album. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't like the album. I like the album. A double disc album called Street's Disciple. And on one of the discs, he had a joint called These Are Heroes. Khalees' wife then was on the hook. So These Are Heroes, he was evoking the spirit of Ice Cube, Public Enemy, X-Clan. And he called Cuba Gooding, in so many words, a coon. Remember now, he called the Roots a coon for performing with Jay-Z at the time when he was going through their beef. Remember, Jay-Z did an unplugged album with the Roots called, he did an unplugged session with the Roots on MTV, and Nas got mad, and he called them a coon at the time, right? He called Funkmaster Flex a coon. He called Hot 97 a coon. He wanted to lynch a Jay-Z, a doll of Jay-Z at the time, right? Now, I know they patched things up, but what I'm saying is the hypocrisy in the term. There's growth, then there's just pure 180 hypocrisy. So on the joint, These Are Our Heroes, he called Kobe Bryant a coon. He called Cuba Gooding a coon, Tiger Woods, all of these people, right? But then turn around and say Gwyneth Paltrow years later can say nigger. You see what I'm saying?
Also, to add to that, like for Black Lord, it really doesn't matter if he tasted Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy or not. You don't let somebody disrespect you and your people just because you fucked them.
Well,
then you're somebody with no strength. Then.
Well,
I'm talking about Nas in particular. Well, if that's the case.
How many black women has Bill Maher had sex with? But when he was chastising Cornel West, he was chastising Cornel West as a racist white liberal. That didn't stop him from holding on to his ideology.
Oh, I was sucking on some black woman pussy, so they could just I'm gonna adhere to what black people say. No.
Yeah, and then that's my thing about it with it. See, that's what I tell people all the time. If you ask me,
people fuck animals. You got some nasty people who are into bestiality. Like we gotta stop putting sex up there.
Sex means nothing.
It means nothing.
People rape
people.
Nut.
People,
it's just one nut that you forget about in the morning.
It's not like you got weirdo people doing weirdo shit. Like people gotta stop putting sex up there. Like, well, if someone does this and that, then no, it's crazy.
I'll say this. Look, if you ask me, if you're like, yo, Prince, you got to walk away with one artist discography, Nas or Ice Cube. I'm going with Ice Cube all the way, all the time. It's because he kept the same energy. Now, I don't know the man personally, but what I've seen publicly, he's kept the same energy. Nas, it just depends on what mood he's in. He be, Gwyneth Paltrow can say, nigga, these are our hero, Cuba Gooding. Remember he got on Cuba Gooding about radio, playing a role? Yo, they had him on some coon stuff, man, with the teeth. I'm just not with it, yo. The roots are like, come on, man, bro. That's why I say, a lot of the people right now who claim to be facilitators of the hip hop commentary culture have short attention spans, have short memories. You know what I'm saying? Before you bestow the power of Frederick Douglass on any of these entertainers, you need to research their history and see what is going on. But there you have it. Anyway, that's why you have a lot of confusion going on, and it's just one of those things. So, hey, it is what it is. Peace to many of you out there. We're going to wrap this up now, folks.
And we appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook, on Periscope, and on TCZ. Also, thank you, Hugh Cypher, for the donation. I give you a quick Pimp C shout out before we close up.
DJ said Kodak Black.
Support us. Financial backers and the crackers.
Know what I'm talking about? All right, everybody. Peace.
What business are you in?
I make my bread and butter. I'm pushing.
What business are you in?
I make my bread and butter. I'm pushing.
What business are you in?
I make my bread and